Testing. Testing. Testing 1 2. Testing. Testing 1 2. Mic check. Testing mic.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast. We started our broadcast, but just able to get the audio going. We showed up thinking the game started at 5, so that's on us. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in right here on Facebook or YouTube, whichever way that you choose to tune into. Today, leading off for the Cavemen is Aiden Quintela. The Cavemen started out the inning putting a 0 up on the board as Tristan Thomas cruised through the first half of the inning. So Aiden Quintela now up to bat. And pitching for Hobbs is Mikey Brewer. Mickey Brewer. All right, so first pitch is a strike. 0 for a strike. Second pitch, fastball. Pretty good fastball from the lefty here. And this one fouled off for strike 2. So an 0-2 count starting for Aiden Quintela. So here comes the next pitch, the windup and the pitch. A fastball bounced off the plate. And Aiden Quintela now looking to get his sign with a 1-2 count. Brewer gets back on the mound, gets his sign. Rocking a red glove today for Hobbs. Here's a fastball, leaked possibly deep in the hole for the shortstop, and this one's going to be an infield single for Aiden Quintela. Good at bat, good battle back with a 1-2 count. Good two-strike approach for Aiden Quintela, and you don't expect a whole lot different from him. He comes through in the clutch, and to start this thing off, you got to love that out of your leadoff batter. Typically, Dylan Salcido in the leadoff spot. Aiden Quintela today going to take that responsibility on as he takes the lead over at first base. And Tristan Thomas, the starting pitcher for the Cavemen, is up to bat. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball on the outside. They're calling this one for a strike. Looked a little bit low and outside, but they're going to give it to him anyways. 0-1 count. And Quintela gets his lead over at first base as Brewer gets his sign. Hobbs rocking Pirates look-alike uniforms today. Here's a bunt by Tristan Thomas. He's got speed. He's going to have to get this one over to first base, and he does in time. but this one advances the runner over to second base. This is going to be Aiden Quintela in scoring position as Mac Mabry comes up to bat. The big lefty, lots of power. Most home runs on the team with 5 right now, and he's got a runner in scoring position. Perfect RBI opportunity for Mabry. Wind looking like it is blowing outward towards right center. A good sweet spot for Mabry. He is able to use all parts of the field, though, for his power. Here comes the first pitch. This one a fastball outside and low for ball 1. So a 1-0 count starting off Mabry with Quintela over at second base. Brewer getting his sign. Checks back over to second base. Quintela's got speed. He won't be looking to take that third base, of course. Fastball outside. This one dribbles away from the catcher, and he's able to go and pick that one up in time. Quintela thought about it, decided not to. Here's Mabry as he gets settled in. Here comes a pitch from Brewer. This one, a fastball low, but called for strike 1. All right, so a 2-1 count now for Mabry. He didn't like that call. 1 out. 0-0 ball game. Aiden Quintela, the leadoff batter, over at second base, getting a pretty solid lead. Here comes Brewer. And Mabry fouls this one straight back, and that's going to make it a 2-2 count. Brewer's got some good velo up on the mound out of the lefty, much like the guy up to bat now as well. Another lefty with an arm. Here's the 2-2 count. Brewer lifts a leg. The pitch, this one tried to ramp it up a bit, and it came off of the turf, so it's going to be a full count for Mabry. All right. So here comes a big pitch in this inning, in this game already. Hobbs took game 1 4-3 in Hobbs last night. Brewer, the leg kick, the pitch, this one over the plate for strike 3. And that one looked like a slider that kind of snuck in over the plate to get Mabry looking. So that's going to be a backwards K, and it's going to be out number 2 for Mabry. All right, so far, Quintela started things off with a single, but the next 2 were consecutive outs. Thomas with a great bunt, and Mabry with a deep count strikeout. But here is Delmonico Moreno in the 4th spot. Here's a fastball that comes off of the foot of the catcher for Hobbs. Catcher tonight for Hobbs is Kenyon Singleton. And Delmonico Moreno now in an even better position to score a run, get an RBI over. Here's Brewer. This one, it looks like a changeup on the outer half for strike 1. 1-1 count. Moreno steps back into the box. Brewer going from the windup. Quintela ready for anything that might dribble away. This one, a fastball, looked pretty good, just a bit off the plate, and the catcher Singleton checking with the umpire as to where that might have been or where that might have missed. Here's Brewer with the windup, the pitch. This one, ooh, it looked like a slider.
No.
Oh, and they're going to call him going on that, called a strike. I don't like that one, Ruben. What do you think?
I think it was in the dirt. I think he checked swinging for sure. But, hey,
yeah,
the
that
umpire
one
gets the last say.
No, absolutely. All right, so here's Brewer stepping in. One more time, here comes the windup. The pitch, this one way off the mark. 3-2 count, so Cavemen able to work 2 full counts in a row. That's going to get the pitch count up. If you're going to take any positives from this, but Moreno wants a lot more than that, right, Ruben?
For sure. Just an RBI single would be nice. Get something in the gap.
All right, so here it comes. The fastball down in the dirt or in the turf, and Moreno, a great at-bat. And that's something that we talked about coming into this season, Ruben, was the fact that he has such a good eye for the ball and is very disciplined at the plate.
Yeah, him and Zach Galindo both have good eyes, and they go into long counts for sure, and somehow find a way to get on base with a walk or something.
I feel like the guys behind us could totally, like, put their volume up.
Yeah.
They don't have to scream, but all right. Here we go. Brewer here, taking on Fabian Hernandez. Gordo DHing today. Here comes a fastball. This one over the plate for strike 1. And it looks like they're going to
call it a ball strike.
yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
guess it's
that was a strike, yeah. All right, here's Brewer. Here comes the pitch. This one, another fastball, and this one swung on and missed by Hernandez, so he gets in a hole early with a 1-2 count. Or an 0-2 count, sorry. All right, so 2 outs here with the runners on first and third for the Cavemen. 0-0 ball game. Here it comes. Fastball off the corner and fouled back. And a good job by Hernandez to shorten things up and try and just kind of stay in this at-bat off of that outside pitch. Brewer likes to live outside, it seems like, so far.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to be living more outside because he's ahead in the count, 0-2.
All right, here it comes. The pitch. This one over the plate. Hit
through.
hard to
Nice
second
play.
base. Good play by the second baseman for Hobbs, Major Bird. And that's going to be out number 3. So, oh, I'm sorry. Gerardo Gonzalez, actually, the second baseman. That's on me. So that's going to do it right there for the first inning. Pretty suspenseful offensively for the Cavemen, and this is going to move into the second inning, top of the second inning, with Tristan Thomas coming up to pitch for the Cavemen. Tristan Thomas this year has been very good on the mound, the lefty with lots of power at the plate and on the mound. He's been tricky, he's been good. One of his strong suits, obviously, a lot of swing and miss, but at the same time, another thing is sometimes control issues. That's his only downfall. For the most part, it really just comes down to he sprinkles in a walk or two here and there, and then he just handles business. So Thomas has been very effective this year. As a matter of fact, this year sitting at a 2.22 ERA. So good.
Yeah, I feel
good
like
season.
I feel like he's had a great season so far. Tough to hit from the left side, and he's got pretty good velo for not being a big guy like Mac. He still brings it pretty good.
Absolutely, he does. All right, up to bat for the Hobbs Eagles is number 6, Mickey Brewer. So this one, first pitch strike for Thomas, and he's going to go ahead and get into the windup. Here comes another one. Slider, nice pitch, clips the corner of the zone, and Thomas in a good position here, 0-2. So here comes the pitch. This one, fastball over the plate for a foul ball straight back.
This is a big guy, this pitcher.
Yes, he is.
Hobbs.
All right, here's Thomas with the pitch. This one, ooh, fastball over the head of Brewer. And this one, sometimes effectively wild, and it works out that way. So a 1-2 count.
Brewer's listed at 6'4". He doesn't look that tall, but he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. A nice pitch by Thomas, and this one just hit off the glove of Molina off the foul tip. So it's going to make it a 1-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. 0-0 ball game. Here's the pitch from Thomas. This one off the turf. It's going to make it a 2-2 count. Nobody out. And it is hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
All right, so here is Thomas with the windup and the pitch. A fastball. This one fouled off over to the left-hand side. Is it going to get out? It doesn't. It goes into the bullpen. So they don't have to worry about a car on this one. And so for the Cavemen tonight, it is on the field. It is Thomas on the mound, Molina catching, Moreno at first base. Here comes a pitch from Thomas. This one, nice pitch off the plate, and swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Brewer. And a good job by Thomas to get that one.
Looked like Molina was trying to knock him down, trying to touch him with a baseball.
There's definitely history between these two teams.
Oh, for sure. There always is. Okay, so that brings up
Major Bird. So number 24, Major Bird. All right, so 0-1 count here. As Thomas able to get the first out of the inning. Here comes the pitch. This one, nice pitch selection tonight for Thomas so far. This one off the plate though.
saying right there. So
All right, here's Thomas dinging in once again. The windup and the pitch. This one, a fastball bounced off the turf again, and 2-1 count. It's 1 out. All right, so we did get news that Salcedo not in the series this week. I guess it's a technicality kind of thing, but we'll get more information on that maybe throughout the week. Thomas with the windup and the pitch. This one,
nice.
A slider over the plate. Good pitch, makes it 2-2. All right, so Thomas really zoned in so far in the first inning and a third. And we'll see what this pitch holds. 2-2 count. This one, a fastball high for strike 3. Another strikeout. The back-to-back strikeouts in the inning. That makes it 2 up, 2 down, and bringing up Singleton, the catcher for the Hobbs Eagles, number 12. So Thomas gets onto the mound once again. These two teams really battled it out last year, Ruben. This is probably the funnest rivalry last year that we saw over the course of the year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then they played them, in the semis, right, at State, and that was another great game that, that went down to the wire. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a good chance that Hobbs could have won State had they won that game.
That's true. You just never know.
Yeah, they were that close.
Yeah, both teams had a lot of talent, a lot of firepower, a lot of home run power between those two teams. So, all right, here comes Thomas with the 1-1 count, 2 outs. Here's a fastball. Nice pitch and swung on and missed by Singleton. And so the wind kind of changing, kind of swirling tonight. It looks like it's going out more towards right field.
Looks like we had that flag tonight.
Yes, we have a flag back. All right. Here's a fastball hit high in the air over to Mac Mabry in center field. He's under it, and he gets that one for out number 3. A good inning by Tristan Thomas.
Yeah.
And he just cruises through that one. Looking good so far in this game for Thomas and keeping the pitch count low. He's faced 6 batters, gotten 6 outs. Ruben, we're looking at some good baseball so far, a battle tonight on the mound. So coming up for the Cavemen is going to be Zach Galindo, Ty Molina, and Garrett Fuentes. All right, Ruben, so a couple things going on in sports lately. For those of you trying to put a timestamp on this, today or yesterday marked the day that a historic contract was written up for Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, crazy money. And I don't know, it's just crazy to think that we're talking about a contract like that. We're wondering what kind of contract are we going to see happen for Trevor Rogers, a stud athlete, maybe one of the best, if not the best pitcher to ever come out of Carlsbad, what his contract might look like coming into next year.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be amazing. Having a good year, and, I mean, great guy, great athlete all the way around. I just expect good things from him.
Absolutely. All right, so Brewer back on the mound for Hobbs coming into the bottom of the second inning. Galindo, a scrappy hitter, definitely has an app for getting on base however way possible. Big part of last year's team as well, and he's going to start things off, the right fielder for the Cavemen. All right, so nobody on, nobody out, 0-0 ball game. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you guys for jumping on the broadcast. Here comes the first pitch to Galindo. He watches this one on the outside corner for strike 1.
Is it me, or does the black uniforms almost look like dark brown, almost like
I can see that,
San Diego Padres
it's almost
kind of
it's
colors.
almost kind of faded, huh?
Yeah, maybe because of the cap and stuff too.
Yeah, it's like an illusion.
Yeah.
All right, so a 1-1 count. That one just off the plate. Brewer pretty good about hitting the corners on the mound for the Eagles, and this one gets Galindo to swing on the outer half for strike 2. So 1-2 count. And on deck is Molina, followed by Fuentes. Here comes a foul ball over to the bullpen of the visiting side, over on the left-hand side. But Galindo able to stay alive here. All right, so Galindo over in right field, he's done a great job defensively from the games that we've been able to see. He's been a lockdown defender over in right field. He's got good wheels as well. So on the base pass, he's become a serious threat really in every part of this game for the Cavemen, and it's nice to have a guy like that in your 6th spot on the lineup, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, he's got a good arm. He's got good range, and he makes some of the plays that you don't expect him to make, so that's even a bonus.
Absolutely. All right, so a full count here. Brewer in the windup. Here it comes. This one off the
Nice.
plate. Good AB, and kind of like what we talked about just recently. I mean, a scrappy hitter. He's going to be taking pitches that he doesn't necessarily think are strikes. He's got a good eye for that. We talked about it last week. If it's a couple inches off the plate, it's like he sees it out of the hand and knows where it's going to be. If he's not sure, he's going to foul it off. I mean, it's one of those rare qualities you don't get in high school.
Yeah.
So Ty Molina now up to bat, the catcher for the Cavemen. And Brewer gets his sign, checks over to Galindo over at first base. And the first pitch, a fastball over the plate. This one, ooh, just about 2 feet left of the foul line. That would have been a beautiful double minimum for Molina, as that one would have traveled into the corner. Matter of fact, they didn't even get that ball. They're sending somebody out there to get it.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah, it is, because it was kind of close to the line still. But an 0-1 count here, nobody out. Galindo over at first base, 0-0 ball game. Brewer with the leg kick, the pitch, this one. Down off the plate. Galindo's going to get to second base easily, and that's going to put him in scoring position. Ruben, I considered thinking that maybe May would consider a bunt on that in this at-bat. That kind of puts that away, and it's like a double bonus when you're able to get the runner over in that way.
Well, especially after that first swing, he hit that rope down the line.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
You don't want to be butting on that. But
exactly. No.
Now he's in scoring position, so all he needs is something in the outfield.
So Brewer once again with a guy on second base with a low out count. Last time it was with 1 out. This time with no outs. And when he tries to ramp it up, it seems like he's kind of going off the plate a bit. So the Cavemen can get him a little bit uncomfortable. It seems like it's been working out for them. Here's going to move into a 2-2 count after a foul ball by Molina. So Brewer now steps in to get his sign. Galindo taking his lead over at second base. Staying a bit close. Second base coming all the way to the plate. Here's a good hit by Molina. This one's going to get into the outfield. They're going to wave him through and stop him late. Did they stop him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they waved him through, and I think they stopped him because
that would have been a real
probably
tough job by Galindo to have to get in there. It would have been a swim move kind of play at the plate.
Well, it was a good idea for them to finally stop him because the ball got in quick, and there's nobody out. You know what I mean? Why are you going to get the first out at home plate when you don't have to?
Exactly. You would hate to see that. Great at bat by Molina, by the way. Basically doing the same thing he did on the first pitch. He just kind of sat that inside pitch and roped it into a position that could get him
and decided
successful.
to make it fair.
Yeah, exactly. So the difference in that at bat and what could have been a possible run almost, it didn't happen, but it could have been, was that pass ball. So crucial play was that pass ball, and now up to bat in a big situation. Garrett Fuentes, we haven't seen him take a whole lot of at-bats this year. He has the best ERA on the squad. He's been very good on the mound, but at the plate, not super experienced. We're going to see some success here, Ruben. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, let's do that. This wouldn't be a bad idea to do a little hit behind the runner, go to right side maybe. But
yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, if I was in his position, I mean, this is just my personal, I'd be basically on a two-strike approach the entire time. All right, this one thrown down to second, and he's going to be out over at second base. That was, I believe, Colton Walker that came in to run for Ty Molina. So that one, a tough play, getting the throw out over at second base. So this one's going to take away the force play. But I mean,
it's also going to get another runner on base with nobody out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. I saw the catcher's arm on the warm-ups earlier, and he looked like he had a pretty strong arm, and he showed it right there.
All right, so Hobbs playing with the infield in. So anything in the infield, they're going to try and go home. Here's a fastball down in the dirt. 2-0 count, and Fuentes here.
3-0 count.
Okay. So here it comes. Fuentes, here comes the pitch.
Nice,
this one down, and that's going to be a walk. So Could have been bases loaded. You hate to say it. I hate to say stuff like that because,
Yeah,
you know, the what ifs, but at the same time,
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
you kind of wish you had that.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, the coach is being aggressive, trying to get 2 guys in scoring position,
True.
thinking, hey, a base hit will score 2 runs, and it'll take the double play out of order. So, I mean, you can think both ways on that one, and hey, we're just glad to see that there's 2 people on again.
That would have been a big team spark right there with a stolen second base, guys on second and third, you know. Absolutely, I agree with you. All right, so Jeremiah Dominguez now up at the plate. Jeremiah Dominguez, the prom king this year.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations to him.
Still wearing his crown. I could see under his
Yeah,
hat,
exactly.
under his helmet.
So this wouldn't be a bad way to add to a good week. Here comes the pitch. This one, a fastball way inside. Catcher, good movement by Singleton to kind of get that.
Team, huh?
It was, yeah. But a good play by Singleton to get over because that would have definitely been a run. Guy in scoring position, and you basically reset this inning. Brewer checking over at first base. Fuentes got his lead. This one, a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. So 1-1 count, 1 out, nobody out. Or I'm sorry, nobody, 0-0 ball game. All right, this one, a swing and a miss by Dominguez, and he took a pretty big hack on that one.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of off speed, kind of started up high and kind of came down into him. So he misjudged that one a little bit, but maybe this one.
1-2 count, here it comes. This one, a fastball inside. This one for ball 2. That was a pretty close pitch right there. It'd have been hard for me to take that one. 2-2 count.
I feel like Brewer's throwing a lot of pitches too.
He is, yeah. I think his pitch count's getting up there. With 1 out, runners at first and third. Here comes the pitch in the dirt. This one makes it a full count. So things are heating up. Things are getting interesting. And by heating up, I mean in the game, because out here it's pretty cold. A lot of people in jackets.
Yeah.
I see a double jacket over there, just kind of telling you.
But according to you,
it's been
still
so
shorts
nice.
weather.
Right, exactly. All right, here comes the pitch. This one in the dirt, so another walk and another 6-pitch at bat. This is going to be tough for Hobbs. Brewer has looked really good today. There's no doubt about it. But when you're throwing that many pitches, you're putting your team in a bind because then you eliminate yourself from the game and, of course, the series on the mound, and then you push to your bullpen, and that makes it a lot tougher. So,
and it's still early in the ball game.
This is going to be a mound visit for Hobbs.
Top of the order makes it nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. So bases loaded, Aiden Quintela up to the plate, and he came through in the first inning with a single.
Okay, you've been a pitching coach. What did the coach tell him?
I think right there you just have to, I mean,
reassure
this
him
late in
things are okay.
Yeah, I mean, if he sees something like, I'm not watching mechanics-wise, it looks like he's really, like, when he's trying to vamp up his pitches, he's going
over pitching.
Yeah, he's throwing it high, he's throwing it low, he's throwing it everywhere. So I think it's just throw your game, don't try and impress anybody. We're trying to win something, and you're trying to stay in the zone because we need him on the mound more than anybody else because he does look good. So a 1-0 count there. The first pitch was a ball to Quintela. Second pitch. This one hit high.
Infield fly
and
rule.
It looks like it's going to be to the shortstop, and this one is going to be out number 2. So Quintela flies out to short. So Thomas and Quintela will have already had their second at-bat of the game in as many innings. So Cavemen doing a good job at the bottom of their lineup. Galindo, Molina, Fuentes, and Jeremiah Dominguez all coming through.
Yeah, Tristan can definitely help himself right here with a little base knock or maybe even a triple down the line wouldn't be bad.
All right, here's the first pitch. Low fastball for ball number 1. So with 2 outs, 0-0 ball game, bases loaded for the Cavemen. You got to be licking your lips, but it's a tough situation with 2 outs. Here's a fastball off the plate, but called for strike 1. That one's tough.
Yeah, he gave him that outside corner a little bit, maybe a little bit off the.
Yeah, that one did seem like it was off the plate. It felt low, too. I mean, it didn't really seem like a strike. Here's a 1-1 count. This one hit over to the right field side for a foul ball. As it rolls into fair territory, they're going to wait on this one just a bit as they get the ball back to the Cavemen side of the field. 1-2 count, 2 outs. And Brewer really wanting to get out of this inning. You feel that relief if he can, but Thomas wants things to go his way, obviously, on the mound. It would help him a lot. This one down, and once again, I think that might be something that you got to really talk to him about. You know, when things start to get tough, he's kind of overthrowing, and I don't think his mechanics are making up for how hard he's pulling down. So a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Here it comes. This one a fastball, and this one fouled back. Good at bat by Thomas, by the way, keeping himself alive with 2 strikes.
Yeah, if they can escape this inning, that would be huge for Hobbs, because we've had a couple of chances with runners in scoring position, and they've gotten out of the inning.
Yeah, last inning we did have a runner stranded on, 2 runners stranded on base, as a matter of fact. Here comes the pitch. This one outside, low and outside. So that one really nowhere near the plate, and this is going to make it. No, exactly. So this is going to be, I mean, if I were to guess, this is going to be a swinging pitch. I mean, even if it's close, I feel like Thomas is definitely going to be swinging on this one. A big pitch, here it is, and he swings and a miss. That one, a tough finish as he was fooled on the slider. Pretty gutsy pitch there with the full count and 2 outs and bases loaded. I mean, geez. So Thomas not able to get it into play there for strike 3 and out number 3. So that's going to do it for inning number 2. 0-0 after 2 complete innings. And we're going to start things off in the lineup for Hobbs with Hector Armendariz, Canyon Johnson, and Saul Armendariz. So, all right, Ruben, it's been a battle back and forth. Thomas seemingly having, well, not seemingly, definitely having a lot easier of a path through the first 2 innings. We saw that Brewer kind of put runners in scoring position, a lot of pressure situations for him, but he's able to get out of it, and the score is the same. So, you know, if you just walk up and look at the scoreboard, you're thinking, okay, cool, this is just an even battle. It has been. Cavemen not able to come through when they needed it most.
Yeah, that's one thing. It doesn't really matter what has happened so far. If Hobbs, you know, can string together some hits and score some runs, then heck, it doesn't matter if we've had 20 guys on base. You know what I mean? So it depends who crosses the plate. So we'll
100%.
see how it goes from here.
No, absolutely. You can load the bases every single time. If another team gets 1 run, that's all. Yeah, that's all we're worried about. So.
Looks like we have a baseball up here. Look, can you see it on the net?
Yeah, a 0-0 ball game. And Thomas faces his 7th batter of the game. And he's only faced 6 batters in 6 outs. He's had a heck of a start to his game. Here comes the first pitch here in the 3rd inning. This one a fastball that's swung on and check swing. That's got to be, yes, he does. Yeah, we saw that happen earlier, and they called him for going. I didn't think he did. I think it was on Moreno.
Yes.
All right, so here's Thomas with an 0-1 pitch. Here it comes. A fastball hit, blooped into shallow center field, and this one bounced awkwardly off of the turf. That was a weird.
It almost looked like a super ball.
It really did, yeah. So interesting. It almost bounced like a football.
And the way the ball went in the air, I almost felt like Ramos was going to get to it because it almost like floated out there.
Yeah.
He just missed it on a dive, and then it bounced up, and Mabry kind of saw it bounce around on him.
Yeah, and Ramos definitely has speed. He's been pinch running all year. Obviously, he's got the wheels. That one was just put in the right spot. So this next pitch came up about 5 feet short on Thomas's fastball. So a 1-0 count here to Canyon Johnson, the DH, number 25 for Hobbs. And over at first base is Hector Armendariz. That was the first hit of the game for Hobbs. So here's a fastball inside. Good pitch by Thomas.
That's a good spot right there.
So 1-1 count, runner at first base, 0-0 ball game. All right, Thomas comes set, gets his sign, checks first base, the pitch, this one. That slider looked like it didn't come over in time, kind of got away from him a bit. Good time to do it.
It was a pitch out. They thought he was running.
Right, exactly. All right, 2-1 count. Thomas checks over. Again, this one a fastball. His pitch has been a fastball tonight. It's been hard. They haven't been seeing it very well. He's been locating it well. Those are 2 good ingredients.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so 2-2 count. Thomas comes set, checks over again, a double check. Good.
Ooh,
All right, so
kinda waved at it.
fastball, yeah, fastball off the plate by a good 3 feet. And we saw Johnson really poke out at that one for strike 3.
Yeah, he chased a bad pitch for sure on that one.
So that one really fortunate for Thomas. Sometimes that's what you need. Saul Armendada is now up to bat for Hobbs. Saul is the right fielder, and they got him at first base. Nice pickoff by Thomas.
They're calling it no. They're saying no. The
They
umpire.
Ooh, what's that gonna? Whoa, they're gonna say this is a balk. That's not the angle.
Yeah.
I hate to see that coming from the
Yeah,
home plate umpire saying that was a balk. That's something that a first base umpire's got to be looking for. And Thomas not too happy here. I don't blame him. That one caught the runner sleeping as Thomas picked over well. Now the umpire's trying to explain it, but there's not going to be any words he can explain that are going to help anybody really get this one. I didn't see a balk there, Ruben. Did you?
No, I didn't see any movement, and for him to call that, it was bad.
Yeah, that's
like you said, the first base umpire has the right angle for it. I mean, he can still see it, but this guy should have at least come and talked to him and said, hey, you know what, I saw it too, or something. But no, he didn't say anything, like he didn't see nothing.
So that's rough there, as Thomas it went from nobody on with an out to
with nobody on,
a guy on second base.
No, it should be. It's 1 out already, remember?
Yeah.
The strikeout, so it would have been 2 outs, nobody on. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's true. So here comes Thomas.
He's going to have to dig down right here.
Coming set, check second base. Here comes another pitch. This one, nice slider there. And that one called for a ball. Looked like it could have crossed the plate, but they're going to give him this one being low. So Armendada is here. This one, fastball low for ball 2. 2-1 count here to the right fielder, Armendada. This is the 9th batter of the game, the 9-hole spot, and Armendada is over at second base off of the balk. You hate to see it. Here comes a pitch. This one, pretty good spot, a little bit high maybe for ball 3. 3-1 count here with 1 out. 0-0 ball game. All right, here it comes. Thomas checks back to second base, nobody covering. Fastball, good pitch. This one for strike 2. And
looked like he was going to throw his bat down.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Armendada definitely didn't like that pitch. No doubt about it, so. Here comes Thomas once again, checking second base, and here's the pitch. This one inside. This one looks like it might have hit him. I'm not sure.
Either way.
But that's going to be ball 4 regardless. And runners on first and second with 1 out. And if you're Carlsbad fan, if you're a Carlsbad coach, you can't help but to be upset about that possibility of a second out.
Coach is going to go out and talk to him, maybe settle him down.
All right, so May.
You know, he had to get a little bit flustered with that play because, like you said, 2 outs, nobody on. Completely different situation now.
That's a super big difference in momentum. Like that is one of the biggest killers on both sides. If you're able to get that, out, it's just a huge bump for your defense, and you're feeling settled. Nobody on. You're in the windup.
You feel good that you pick somebody off because that's a good feeling just in itself. You know.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. So, Coach May getting out there and talking to Thomas and really talking to the infield on strategy maybe, but with a runner on first and second, definitely a double play in order. So Ramos over at second base is a different look for the Cavemen for the most part. But Quintela, the vet over there, sophomore, still a vet. They're going to check back at second base, kind of just a step off. So they're going to try and keep the guy close at second base to make sure that they're not giving away any free bases or any easy RBIs.
That's what I was going to say. He's probably going to be trying to bunt just to get them both in scoring position, and the ball was a little bit high, but he kept it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Thomas, an 0-1 count here with 1 out. And here we go. He's set, check second base. Here's the fastball. This one looked like the late bunt pullback. Could have gone either way there. Felt like it was a late pullback.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
He almost didn't pull back. He kind of like,
This is where the replay would really come in handy to see that up close and personal, because if I'm at home and I see that on replay, I'm yelling at my screen. the luxury of watching that at home when you see those replays, and it looks like Cavemen kind of ran a play that could have been dangerous, kind of like it's scary to me if you're a third baseman.
That play that they do where they're, but they were actually just trying to cover the bunt, but they were right there. So if you swing at it, that is kind of scary.
It is scary, and what's crazy to me is Dominguez or Moreno, it looked like they had their gloves in normal fielding position. I'm putting that up by my face if I'm coming in like that. Yeah. Here's a nice pitch by Thomas. This one blooped up. Is Mabry going to get there? Nice play by Mabry, a diving catch, and that one definitely put the Cavemen in a better position. Now, if that lands with the bounce of the turf, that could have been 2 bases for Hobbs and a score.
Been a run, yeah, for sure.
Great play by Mac Mabry.
To get that.
Yes, he absolutely did. So great play by Mabry to get all the way over in center field and possibly save a run. All right, here comes the pitch. This one a fastball way inside. This kid, very small for Hobbs. All right, so this is I believe this is Josiah Martinez.
It's the left fielder.
All right, so here it comes. Thomas, the leg kick, the pitch. This one, another inside pitch, trying to make him uncomfortable, it seems like, and looks like it could be working in a way. All right, so Thomas here with a 2-0 count, 2 outs, 0-0 ball game. Crucial inning so far. This one a fastball low. It looked like it was pretty good over the plate.
Good pitch, especially him being 5'5", according to this. But so he's in a tough spot with a 3-0 count, with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. 0-0 ball game. Here comes the pitch. There's a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike.
All right, so a 3-1 count with 2 outs, and Martinez is in a good position. Hitters count, definitely. Here's Thomas. The leg kick, the pitch. This one a fastball low off the plate. That's going to make it a walk, and that's going to load the bases for the Eagles. And Thomas kind of getting into that same position that we saw Brewer get into. Brewer able to get out of it. Will we see Thomas get out of it? He's going to face off against the 3-hole batter, Xavier Alvarado.
Yeah, they've got quite a few juniors on this team. There's only a couple of seniors, so this is kind of a young team.
All right, here comes the pitch. This one, a fastball fouled back, and 345 batting average for Alvarado. He's got 2 home runs, so he does have that pop possibility for Hobbs as well, and he's got the most triples on the team, so definitely a threat here for the Eagles. A good slider by Thomas to fool him there. An 0-2 count. That's a fastball that's hitting him, but that's a beautiful slider that kind of snuck back through. Kind of made him look silly on that one. An 0-2 count. Here it comes. A fastball, strike 3. Good job by Thomas. He's fired up, and so am I.
Yeah, that's huge to get out of that inning. We weren't feeling the same way a while ago when we didn't score, but it feels good from the other side.
Yes, it definitely does. A great job by Thomas to really fight back in that inning as Hobbs kind of does the same thing. Hobbs leaves 3 stranded. The Cavemen have left, I think, around, what have they left? 6 stranded so far in 2 innings of work. So after 2 1/3 innings, the Cavemen 0, the Eagles 0. So Brewer's going to come back out there. I would imagine if I was a betting man, he's above 45 pitches so far.
What is the pitch count for high
I believe
school?
it's 120 is the max.
Well, that's quite a few then.
Yeah, it is.
They probably can pitch pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, I mean this late in the season too, you typically are able to go close to that, if not all the way to that, if you're feeling comfortable with your guy. Early in the season, we see it happen. Hobbs does it a lot. There are some teams in there. I think Clovis is pretty notorious for just kind of leaving their guys out there even early in the season, which is dangerous for arms. But any team at this point, either they're going to let their guys go or their guys are struggling because they did do that too early in the season. So I'd imagine Hobbs probably took good care of him and let him come into his own. But nowadays, Ruben, I mean, baseball players are playing year-round. They're pitching
Yeah.
year-round. I mean,
Yeah.
guys aren't giving their arms a lot of rest, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
like
playing.
in game mode the entire 365.
Oh yeah, because there's games in the fall. The only time you really take a little bit of time off maybe is during like December.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're pretty much playing 10, 11 months out of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Brewer steps in against Mac Mabry. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball low for ball one. So Mabry here started off the game with a strikeout looking. So he's going to try and get his first hit of the game. Here comes the windup in the pitch. This one a fastball off the plate. It's going to make it a 2-0 count. So Mabry this year leads the team in RBIs, home runs, and triples. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball way off the plate. It's going to make it a 3-0 count. So immediately Brewer kind of putting himself in a tough situation. And like we said before, the pitch counts are pretty important. He's not pitching to contact. Neither of these pitchers really are. They're kind of pitching for the strikeout, and that definitely puts you in a position to throw more pitches because you're looking to get more swing and misses, or you're looking to fool guys. And a lot of times that takes balls to do that.
That's for sure.
Outside and a lot of times low in the dirt to try and get guys to bite on strikeout pitches.
Well,
All right, so Mac Mabry able to get the walk there, a clutch first at-bat of the inning, and Delmonico Moreno now steps in for the Cavemen as Brewer checks over to first base. He comes set. Here comes the leg kick and the pitch. This one over the plate, and Moreno threatened to bunt but didn't decide to go for it.
I feel like if he was going to bunt, that would have been the pitch to bunt on because he pitched it right there, got the runner in scoring position. But Mac's got a lot of speed, so we'll see what happened.
All right, so it looks like the Cavemen trying to slash there, but that was a bad fastball, or bad
Pitch.
fastball.
Yeah, bad call.
Bad strike call there. So an 0-2 count on a questionable strike two. And Brewer kind of got away with that one. Mabry at first base. Here comes a fastball. That's about the same
spot,
just lower. But a 1-2 count with lots of speed on the base pass, and Moreno has been very good for the Cavemen this year. A walk in the first inning. And, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he worked the count all the way back full here. But we'll see. Here's the next pitch from Brewer. This one, a fastball off the plate. 2-2 count. It looked like the umpire called strike three.
It looked like he was ready to do his strikeout call, and I was like, what the heck's
it's like
he
his
doing?
mind's decided if it's kind of close, I'm just going to call it on this pitch. And that one wasn't even close, so he had to catch himself. This guy's trying to hustle up this doubleheader, it seems like. All right, so Brewer checks over first base, checks again, comes set. The pitch, this one, fastball
Gets
off
away.
of the shin guard.
That might be an extra
And this
base
one,
for
Mabry
Mac.
might be taking third, and it
He
looks
better
like
hustle.
he's stopped. And he's going to go ahead and get to third base on an error.
I thought
So he
would-
couldn't pick it over at third base, and Mabry really slowed down rounding second base. I wasn't sure why that was.
Yeah, I think if he'd have gone hard the whole way, he would have made it easily.
Yeah, he's got a
'Cause
lot
by
of
the time
speed.
the guy picked it up, he was halfway.
Yep.
But then he kind of slowed down. I was like, what's he doing now?
So it looks like
Now
they're
what's the
going to be
umpire saying?
talking about if that was a hit by pitch or not. It looks like, I mean, Moreno was very convincing. If not, he took first base. But that's definitely, that might be why Mabry slowed down, thinking, okay, well, if he's hit by pitch, then I can't advance.
Yeah.
Because it's a dead ball. And
That's
so
true.
that's exactly what it was.
But
So
to me, I didn't see the umpire. The umpire's supposed to
No,
throw
you're
his
supposed
hands
to-
up
exactly.
and go dead ball, take your base. But he didn't say that. So he's over there changing his mind on stuff.
yeah, the behind the plate umpire's been a little confused tonight. Man, that balk really cost us today. No, it didn't. It worked out for Thomas, but it definitely put more pitches on his.
So Fabian
Pitch count.
Hernandez, see what he can do here.
Brewer with runners on first and second, nobody out. 0-0 ball game. Here it comes. The leg kick, the pitch. This one off the plate, and this one fouled back on a bunt attempt by Fabian Hernandez.
I feel like so far we're not real confident in our bunting skills. Used to, it would be just automatic. You know what I mean? If the ball's in the zone or close, we're just pushing it wherever the ball comes. But right there, he looked a little hesitant, just like Moreno did a while ago.
Yeah, it's almost feeling like these guys don't want to bunt. Like they know they are supposed to, but they're kind of not really wanting to right there. Ooh, another questionable strike. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that one, he pulled it back. He had an opportunity to put it down, but it did feel like that one was off the plate by a couple of inches. An 0-2 count here to Hernandez batting in the 5-hole. This one
called
going to be a
three.
strike 3.
Well, he got him over to third, but yeah, that was a bad.
So 2 bad calls by the umpire. He's been struggling tonight, and we haven't heard a whole lot of chirping from the stands. Pretty quiet night, and it feels like the weather's definitely kept people home tonight. I feel like if it was 85 degrees right now and sunny, we would probably have a good solid 30
Another 100 people more.
Yeah, I was going to say quite a bit more, probably 30% louder every single call.
Yeah.
A lot of a difference. All right, so 1 out now, runners on first and third, and Galindo up to the plate. Here comes the pitch. This one right over the plate for ball 1. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So, it's hard to understand what the umpire's calling.
Yeah, I feel like I don't understand baseball as much anymore with how this game's being called. There's a lot of things that have happened, questionable stuff. Here comes the pitch. This one, a fastball right over the plate. That was a strike, and we can agree, and he called it.
Yeah.
So
all three of us are on the same page right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. All right, so Galindo with a 1-1 count, 1 out. 0-0 ball game. If you're just joining us, we appreciate it. This one, a nail biter last night. Hobbs took down the Cavemen 4-3 in their series opener in Hobbs. And it looks like Moreno's trying to take second base, and this is going to be kind of a pickle built-in play for the Cavemen, and this one's going to be tough. Mac's got a lot of speed. He's going to have to make a perfect throw. He does, and good play by Mac Mabry and the Cavemen. So the home plate umpire, they're trying to make a case over at home plate. What are you doing? You're showing him the ball. I don't understand.
I mean, the catcher's appealing the call.
Like, no, I have the ball.
Oh,
well, in that case, still safe.
He's out.
So a 2-1 count now to Zach Galindo with a runner at second base, and a score is now established for the Cavemen. 1 run across as Mabry uses the wheels to get a run in home.
Yeah, it looked like Hobbs was doing everything right, trying to keep an eye on him. But once it got to a certain point, they don't know the exact speed of the runner, and they didn't expect Mac, who's a tall guy, to be able to get there that quick.
Yeah, I mean you have to have a pretty good idea when you see Mabry on the bases. You've played him for 3 years, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, looks can be deceiving when you're standing there and you take off at the last second, So
yeah, when you say
2-2 count.
When you say, oh, he's halfway, he's got, what, 30 feet left?
Yeah, I mean, he's got good.
I'm good.
And he takes good strides, too. So 2-2 count, 2-2 count with 1 out. Here it comes. This pitch to Galindo, grounded back up the middle. Shortstop handles it, gets it to first base, and a long hop is going to be picked over at first for out number 1. So
no, out number 2.
Out number 2, I'm sorry. That's, thank you for checking me today. Appreciate that. So that's going to advance the runner over to third base. So Moreno over at third base. A pass ball would be another score for the Cavemen. And today we saw, I mean, that would have definitely scored Mac Mabry, but it might have been a double play. So you just, I think that play that they did, it definitely paid off, and you take out the what-ifs.
Well, we could have been saying what if he'd got out.
That's true. That's true.
So
I guess there's always, they're always there.
What if depends on every situation.
Exactly.
And it depends on the umpire.
All right, 1-0 count here with 2 outs and a timeout here for Molina to get reset. And he's going to try and slow things down. I like this idea. Brewer's been working very quickly. Molina trying to slow him down, kind of throw him off. Here comes a pitch. This one, a fastball over the middle for strike 1. 1-1 count.
Well, Molina came up with
a cutter, actually.
A nice base hit last at bat, right? Between short and third?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe he can come through right here, too.
All right, this one hit hard in the left field. This is going to be way out of the range of the left fielder. This one fouled off. So Molina definitely has been on good timing today for the Cavemen. And in the second inning, Ruben, like you said, he had a single. And then his pinch runner was chopped down at second base on a stolen base attempt. But runner at third base here, folks. Here comes a pitch from Brewer. This one high. So 2-2 count, 2 outs. Cavemen lead 1-0. If you're just joining us, folks, the Cavemen took the lead on a trick play in the base pass Delmonico Moreno kind of left out his bait, and Mabry took home plate. So full count again, and you have to wonder where this pitch count is for Brewer. I wish we had a clicker. That's one of the investments we're going to have next year.
ASB's
We're going to
gonna
have a
take care of
clicker.
us.
We're going to have somebody, this clicker is brought to you by, and bam, there we
And
go.
a stopwatch. We'll have a stopwatch.
All right, so Molina puts this one high into right field. This one is taking a while to come back down, and it looks like they had a little bit of trouble in right field, but they bring it down for Saul Armendariz. So the Cavemen able to plate one, so 1-0 Cavemen lead here in the the top of the fourth inning. Cavemen 1, Hobbs 0. And Cavemen have only had one loss in district, and they took it last night in Hobbs.
Yeah.
This rivalry kind of comes back and forth, and that's kind of where we saw that. I mean, if Carlsbad ends up beating Hobbs last night, they have a losing record in district. But because they did win that one, they are sitting at 4-3.
Okay.
Yeah, Hobbs is here with a 10-14 record. They have a losing record overall.
Yeah, that's unusual because Hobbs is usually right there.
Especially coming off of last year. Both teams were in the top, 8?
Yeah, but they had quite a few seniors last year. And this year, I see 3 here, and I think 2 of them are starting. So it's mostly juniors, almost all juniors. So next year is really going to be heavily senior loaded.
All right, so here we go again. Thomas still here on the mound for the Cavemen, and he's been looking good so far. Ruben, what do you have to say about tonight's game so far?
Well, so far it seems like we've left a few people on base. They've left quite a few people on base. It's just a good game so far. 1-0. Pitchers are a little bit hit and miss. I think if we get Thomas to settle in, it'll be nice for us. But we've got the big pitcher for their team coming up to lead off the inning, so we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely. So, how do you say his name? Mickey Brewer?
Yeah, Mickey Brewer.
All right, so the pitcher for the other side, Brewer, up to bat for the Eagles. And the Eagles have been able to get one hit. That hit came from the 7-hole batter. Here's a first pitch fastball. This one inside for ball 1. Pretty good pitch, though.
Yeah, it did. It looked pretty good.
And Thomas out of the windup's a hard pitcher to face, really, truly. This one, a fastball inside, kind of sawed him off there for a foul ball. That one, had to sting off the hands. He's not acting like it, but we know.
A little bit chilly, hitting it right off just missed his fingers.
Yeah. You got about an inch wide of bat right there. You got nothing.
He's grinding
That's
his
tough.
teeth right now.
Yeah. There's a nice, beautiful slider there by Tristan Thomas. A 1-2 count here with nobody on, nobody out. Cavemen lead 1-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. And Thomas out of the windup. Here it comes. This one a slider. This one hit hard into right center field. Mabry on his horse. Can he get there? No. This one might bounce over. It doesn't. It's the top of the wall. And this one, Mabry guns it into second base. So a double off the wall, off of a one hop off the wall for Brewer to help his own case. So here it comes for Major Bird, the 5th hole batter for the Eagles and the 3rd baseman.
So I guess you pronounce it Mackay.
Okay.
That's what I heard them
Interesting. Say. All right, so Thomas now facing a runner on second base in scoring position with nobody out. But here it comes from Major Bird. We got Major Bird with a .410 on-base percentage here for the Eagles, so he knows how to get on base, no doubt about it. But Thomas was able to K him in the 2nd inning for out number 2 of that inning. So we'll see where we have here. There's a fastball low. It's going to make it a 1-1 count here. And it looks like, once again, guys, the wind is definitely a factor on this. It was definitely a factor on that last fly ball or last double because the wind is blowing out to right field.
Yeah, I think that ball carried away from Mac for sure
Yeah.
on that one, because he was on his horse and going hard, and I thought he's going to get under it, and it just kept going.
I would say it probably added another 40 feet onto
Oh
that
yeah,
ball.
for sure. You could see the way the flag is blowing big time.
It might come off of that flagpole. That's how hard it's going. So, all right, so Thomas here with a 2-1 count, nobody out, but a runner on second base. Here it comes. This one a fastball outside, fouled over to the bullpen on the Caveman side. 2-2 count with nobody out. Cavemen lead 1-0 if you're just joining us. All Sports Best on the broadcast here with Red Rocket Media. We appreciate everybody for checking out the broadcast. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Carlsbad Cavemen Booster Club. And the 2-2 count here once again. Thomas has been very good for the Cavemen, and both pitchers have pitched out of a bind and under pressure situations. So this is definitely one for Thomas, and he's able to get the strikeout. Great pitch.
Yeah.
Great location on that pitch for strikeout, swinging. And that's going to be the first out of this inning for Thomas. So 1 out, runner on second base. We've got Kenyon Singleton, the catcher for Hobbs, up to bat. Thomas checks back the runner. Here comes the pitch, a fastball outside, and he's been, if you notice, Ruben, I don't know if you really watch the path of every pitch, but on that pitch and a lot of his fastballs, especially arm side, he's got a lot of run. So it bites back on his arm side. So against a righty, it's almost like he's throwing a changeup. You know what I mean? A lot of arm side run. You see that a lot of times with lefties. You see it with guys that throw sidearm and guys that throw three-quarters. But when you've got velo like Thomas does, it's even more deadly. An 0-2 count here with 1 out. Here it comes. Fastball high. But that run does go both ways. When you throw it high and outside like that, you know, that's more of a stab for Molina to have to get it last second, because it does kind of run and rise.
Kind of fools him too.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Well, Thomas hides the ball well.
He does.
His wind up until it finally comes, and it's hard to see, so that's tough on the batters also.
It doesn't hurt that the Cavemen wear white hats, right?
Oh.
All right, this one, a fastball down, and he gets out of the way.
I thought it hit him for sure.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how he got out of the way.
That's sprinted to first base.
All right, so Thomas kind of lucks out on that one. Might brush him off the plate a bit, actually, but a 2-2 count here with 1 out. Runner on second base. Cavemen lead 1-0 in a tight ball game, a pitcher's duel tonight here at the Corral. There is a doubleheader, so you can catch the second game if you're at home and you want to come and swing by. Concession stands open, ready to roll, and just bring a jacket. That's all I recommend. So this one makes it 3-2 count with 1 out, runner on second base. Ruben, last night we were able to do the 8th grade formal over at CIS. And if it was this cold, it wouldn't have been very enjoyable for those kids.
No, not for sure, except the ones wearing jackets.
Right, exactly. Ooh, pretty close pitch there. He's been calling those off and on, that exact pitch, but he decides not to call it that time. And Thomas kind of shows him up a little bit, telling the coaches, hey, it was at his knees. I don't know what's going on. But that makes it ball 4, and runners on first and second now. So a double play is in order. A nice ground ball up the middle would be a great way to get out of this inning. But right now there is 2 runners on.
Yeah. So it looks like Molina gets out there with the pitcher and the whole infield to try to talk about it. Settle him down maybe.
Absolutely. So Molina has really taken on a leadership role this year, more than ever. And I've been able to see, I've had the pleasure of being able to watch a lot of these seniors kind of grow as athletes in 7th grade. And it's really cool to see them start to really grow up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Athletically, yeah, you're going to see that. But who's going to be the vocal leader? Who's going to be the lead by example? You know, there's a lot of different things that go into that. But here comes a fastball, pitch out, and this one thrown away into right field, and Galindo's going to have it, and they're going to possibly throw it. No, they're not. All right, so they almost sent him home.
They tried to do the trick play, and the trick play didn't work this time with the bad throw into right field.
Yes, that one hurts for the Cavemen, especially with 1 out and the double play out of the question. So up to bat for the Eagles is Hector Armendariz, the center fielder. This one a fastball low and inside for ball 1. Or ball 2, I'm sorry. So Cavemen ran the trick play, and it didn't work out that time. Though the trick, a trick play is what got him the first run of the game, so you kind of live and die by the sword almost.
Payback. Well, we're not out of it yet, so
no.
We'll see if we can get out of it. Gonna have to get a ground ball or strikeout right here.
2-1 count, 1 out. And Thomas out of the windup. Here it comes. Fastball, good pitch. Ooh, it might have been a changeup, actually. Kind of changed his speed on that one. A 2-2 count with 1 out. And I will say, what makes me kind of nervous is the speed that Thomas's windup goes. It gives the guy on third base an opportunity to do something. But in this case, it really worked out. He settles in, focuses, gets the strikeout, swinging, and the Cavemen now have 2 outs with runners still in, obviously, in second and third in scoring position. So they're definitely not out of the woods yet. But Canyon Johnson, the DH for Hobbs, Cade in the 3rd inning.
Well, that's one thing about Thomas. We saw last year when you had...
There's a strikeout pitch we could have had 2 batters ago, same exact spot.
We had Nolan Perry last year that was calm as the, just a cool cat on the mound, and you got Thomas who's fiery. It's like 2 opposite ends of the spectrum.
Exactly. All right, 1-1 count, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Yeah, we had a couple of, like, Harville and Mabry last year on the mound. They were so excited they'd get fired up, and we didn't see that ever out of Perry, which was funny. But a state championship shows that it works both ways, and you gotta love it, especially as a fan. It's so exciting to watch both sides of it. But okay, a 1-2 count with 2 outs. This one, a big pitch. Thomas might be putting extra on it, and he does. Strike 3, swinging, and he gets out of a tough one there. How does he do it? 3 strikeouts in the inning, all swinging, and Thomas is just doing himself a favor. Yeah, when he needs to. So going into the bottom of the 4th inning, the Cavemen lead 1-0 behind the arm of Thomas, who has been really good and has only allowed, let's see, how many has he allowed? 5 base runners in 4 innings of work. So good work by Thomas. Let's see, what do we have for Thomas? Let's talk about his season a little bit, Ruben. He's got 9 doubles on the year, 3 triples. His ERA is at 2.22. He's got 13 stolen bases and a home run. Thomas definitely shows a lot in that stat line, right? We see that he's very good off the mound. We see that tonight. But we also see that with the home run and the triples, he's got power, he's got speed with the triples, and 13 stolen bases puts him, I believe, at 2nd on the team in stolen bases. So, I mean, this dude's got wheels, he's got an arm, he's got power with the left-handed swing. This is a guy you really want on your squad if you're a college team. And I believe he's going to play for West Texas University, if I'm not mistaken.
Where's West Texas?
That's a great question. I'm going to have to look that one up.
Amarillo area, somewhere up there, I think. Yeah, look it up for us. And looks like there's going to be a lineup change or something. The umpire's writing some stuff down, so maybe Coach May told him we're doing this different, so he's writing it in his book.
All right, so it is at West Texas A&M. And let's find out where that is, like you said. It says West Texas A&M is in Canyon, Texas.
So that's right there by Amarillo area, yeah. Looks like Garrett Fuentes, number 12, is going to lead off this inning.
All right, Fuentes in the 1st inning was able to reach base, and in the 2nd inning, I'm sorry, with a walk. So this first pitch looks like a slider for strike 1. So left fielder Garrett Fuentes in, the best ERA on the squad. Will likely see him come in relief in either in this game or game 2 of tonight.
I bet you it'd be the next game only because of the fact that he's in left field unless they get him loose, between
That's
innings.
True. The Cavemen have the luxury of getting guys loose with the depth they have in the bullpen, really.
Yeah.
So a 1-2 count here. Cavemen lead 1-0 if you're just joining us. All sports best here with Red Rocket Media, and brought to you by the Carlsbad Cavemen Booster Club. Good job by Fuentes to just get a barrel on that one just enough to foul it off and stay alive. And at this point, the Cavemen can do two things. Obviously, you want to extend innings with getting runners on base. Walks have been great for them, but also extending at bats. If you strike out, if you foul out, or I'm sorry, if you strike out, you pop out, you ground out, but you're able to, you know, work the pitcher to 5 to 7 pitches. I mean, you're doing a great job. That's a good at bat in my books.
Yeah, for sure.
1-2 count. Here it comes. Fuentes does not go,
No.
and they can't. Okay, I was going to say that would have
Yeah.
been a real bad call, but good job by Fuentes to kind of stay back. Pretty disciplined on that one. This is going to be the 6th pitch of the inning to Fuentes, as he had a couple of foul balls. Here comes the pitch. This one swung on and dribbled away from the catcher. He's going to throw him out at first base for out number 1. So a strikeout swinging by Fuentes. He's going to make it out number 1, but a good at bat, honestly. Like I said, 6 pitches worked in that inning, or in that at bat, and now Jeremiah Dominguez, the third baseman, he had a walk in the second inning.
Yeah, so it looks like Brewer's settling in a little bit. Not as many walks, and that one he was in the zone pretty much the whole at bat for Fuentes.
All right, this one hit pretty hard over to third base, and this one handled and throw it over to first base for out number 1, or out number 2, I'm sorry. So handled by Bird over at third base, but we'll see what happens here. Aiden Quintela, the shortstop for the Cavemen, who leads in most offensive categories for the Cavemen. He's been very good, and as a sophomore, you look forward to what he's going to do in his next couple of years as well. A huge part of that state championship team as a freshman. It's very impressive to watch Aiden Quintela.
Yeah, it is. He's always real calm and collective. Like
Yeah.
he just knows what he's going to do every time he does whatever he's doing. Whether he's
exactly.
fielding a ground ball, hitting the ball, whatever he's doing, he does it well.
All right, this one. Curveball down in the turf. That's going to make it a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Cavemen lead 1-0. Ruben, we saw him at prom, and same thing. You say what's up to him, and he's very like chill. He's he's not rushing about anything. It's funny.
Yeah,
And you gotta love that in a baseball player, though. Very even keel.
Yeah, that's why you said he pitches some, so I'd like to see him on the mound
Me
because I
too.
feel like that's a good place for a guy like that too, because he's real chill.
2-1 count here to Quintela. He fouls this one back low. He liked that one.
Thomas tried to catch that in the air.
Thomas almost
I
laid
thought
out.
He was gonna dive.
That one was fun. So a 2-2 count here with 2 outs, and Quintela here going to try and keep this inning alive if he can. A good at bat so far from the shortstop. This one on the outer half, or on the outside, and you just kind of worry about what the umpire is going to do. That one was a ball, but it was
exactly where the ball is going. But we also got to look at the umpire because he's questionable on some calls.
All right, so Quintela able to work a walk there. Great at bat by the shortstop, sophomore, and we're going to bring up the starting pitcher for the Cavemen. Going to try and help his own cause out.
Mr.
The lefty, TNT, baby. Throw that AC/DC on. We're going to see what we can get out of Thomas. He struck out in the second inning for the 3rd out of the inning. But we'll see what he can come up with here. So Brewers got to be at least 85 pitches by now. Here comes the pitch. This one low and off the turf. This one kind of gloved, luckily, by Singleton for Hobbs, because if not, Quintela is definitely at second base. Even then, you think he might go, but he holds up at first.
He still could have, but it's
with
a
2
tough
outs,
situation.
you kind of, it's hard. Especially when he's shortening the throw on the run up. But here's Thomas. This one a curveball, and that one clips the corner of the plate. I'll give it to him there. The 1-1 count with 2 outs. And Quintela getting signs over at first base. I can't imagine there's anything too aggressive here. Here's Thomas. Fastball. This one fouled over to the Hobbs dugout.
Maybe Coach May needs to give him the triple signal to
hit
one right down the first baseline and get it in that corner.
Or the clear the bases signal.
Yeah.
All right, 1-2 count, 2 outs. Cavemen lead 1-0. Thomas trying to extend this inning. Here comes a. There we go. Quintela over to second base. This hit and run, what it looked like, and Quintela able to get all the way over to third base. Good job by Thomas to get it in the hole. And that stolen base attempt kind of pulled the second baseman out of his position a bit, and a great opportunity for Thomas to pull it into the hole.
It was either a stolen base situation or maybe it was a hit and run, and the hit and run works out perfect in those situations, like you said, because it pulls the second base. Of course, the second baseman doesn't have to cover on that.
It's hard to do that with, in that situation.
That's more a shortstop thing, but he's moving that way, and it opens up the hole for sure.
Yes. So Mabry now up to bat with runners at first and third, and Thomas puts a single on his stat sheet for tonight. So helping his own cause, keeping this inning alive. And that wind still blowing hard, kind of going towards the Caveman dugout now.
Now it's kind of coming in a little bit.
It's just going to be a swirling wind, not really a helping wind. Here it comes, the first pitch. This one right over the plate. Looked like it could have been kind of like a changeup. If it was a curveball, it didn't have a lot of bite to it. An 0-1 count, 2 outs. Brewer checks over at first base. The windup, the pitch. This one a fastball off the plate outside. But Brewer does have some good pop to the glove, no doubt. And he's getting his sign.
Mac would like to hit something hard right here.
Yes. Brewer, the leg kick, the pitch. This one off the plate. And Singleton really has done a good job of kind of containing as much as he can of the run game for the Cavemen.
Well, he threw a runner out earlier, and he keeps everything in front of him kind of aggressively. So, that definitely helps.
Not a ton of rushing yards for the Cavemen tonight.
No.
2-1 count here with 2 outs. Brewer throws it outside, and it gets Mabry to swing on that one. Kind of waves at it on a curveball. Nice pitch by Brewer. It's going to make it a tough situation on both accounts. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runners at first and third. A base hit definitely scores 1. And it looks like they're going to run a play here.
Oh.
And they're going to try and get him to bait over at second base, and they don't do it. So they're able to get him to just kind of let second base be taken.
And the funny thing is the runner going to second base,
he wanted
started
back,
going back because he's like, no, you got to.
If he would have just went all the way back to first base on that one. Here comes a pitch. This one, fastball swinging for strike 3 and out number 3 to Mac Mabry. And that one's tough there. So out number 3 comes from strikeout after a trick play there by the Cavemen. Didn't really entice Hobbs as much as I would have probably wanted it as a pitcher.
Yeah, that's one thing. Is like the pitcher was it almost looks like he looked into the dugout like, what do I do?
And in that situation, Ruben, because last time we had a debate on the forced play and all that, there's no forced play there. So if he does throw it over to second base and the Cavemen do get a run across before he's tagged out, then that is a run. So that's what they were going for.
And Quintela was going all the way because it looked like when he looked that way, he had to run back because the pitcher didn't throw it.
It was a good job by Brewer to check back the runner, because had he turned around and fallen, because it's easy to think, ooh, out, I'm just going to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
And in that case, he might have saved his team from having to suffer another run to the Cavemen.
Yeah, and of course, you think about it too. If Mabry gets a base hit, then that's 2 runs, and you think, man, if they would have just gotten that run, you know what I mean? Like we said, there's always the what-if situation.
Exactly. All right, so coming into the 5th inning, Thomas still on the mound for the Cavemen. He's done a phenomenal job. He's allowed 2 hits, and let's see, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'd probably guess he has about 9 strikeouts on the day so far. We weren't here for the first half of the first inning, unfortunately, but here comes the pitch from Thomas. This one, fastball low and outside. So 1-0 count, nobody on. And a 1-0 ball game, Cavemen lead. All right, Thomas, fastball over the plate, right down the middle, and that one, a 1-1 count.
That's what's tough about a 1-0 ball game. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
It's gotta hold your defense in check.
Yeah, and we talk about how momentum can change, how momentum can flip.
Yes. Oh, I thought that was for sure.
Yeah, I did too. He broke the plane, I believe. But they're not going to count it for him. So a 2-1 count. But Ruben, with a, like you said, with a 1-0 ball game, all the momentum has to do is tilt. Doesn't have to completely shift.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to flip. I mean, it's just so close. It's just takes a little bit at the right time and at the end. So 3-1 count there on a couple of back-to-back questionable calls, you say?
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was a strike. That's 2 strikes in a row. So, yeah, Thomas has got to be a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, absolutely. So 3-2 count now, and Thomas is going to try and work this count for a strikeout if he can, but anything will work. Just don't want to can't afford him a walk here. Good
Nice.
pitch by Thomas, definitely a fastball outside swinging, strike 3.
That would have definitely been ball 4, probably, for this umpire.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was a little bit off the plate. It was a good pitch as a strikeout pitch, but you have to, bank on him swinging. He does.
Yeah.
So it works out. So good, gutsy pitch call and placement for Thomas, and that's going to be out number 1 with a strikeout. I believe that's got to be probably 9th or 10th strikeout. So
We're at the top of the order again, right?
yes, Gerardo Gonzalez.
Another junior.
So second baseman for the Eagles. A 1-1 count. Here's Thomas, the windup and the pitch. This one a fastball off the turf. 2-1 count.
It's funny because the ball hits off the turf, so Molina asks for another ball. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
umpire puts it in his bag, and then in a minute, there'll be a foul ball, and he'll get that ball back.
He'll get
So,
that. He doesn't put it in the disposal part.
Yeah,
No, it's just the same one.
Molina's watching too much pro baseball, I
Right,
guess.
exactly.
Give me another ball, Blue.
Good pitch by Thomas. Makes it a 2-2 count there. I believe it was a change-up. There we go. 1 out. Nice fastball straight back to Thomas. He's going to run this one over and toss it. Good call by Thomas. Ruben, I've had some experience with comebackers in my career, and there's 2 ways to handle this. I've done both ways. One, what Thomas just did, calm, collected, you've got time, take it over there, either toss it overhand or underhand, preferably underhand, a little more accurate. Or you feel that adrenaline, you feel rush, and you just chuck it over to first base and cost your team the game. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, I've definitely felt both. I think Thomas handled that one extremely well with plenty of time. This one hit hard and high up in the center field. Mac Mabry's going to have a long ways to go, and this one gets all the way to the fence. He's going to throw this one in.
He's going to
Cut off man, and they're going to get this one over to third base, but not in time. Big hit there by Josiah Martinez, the left fielder. A little guy hitting that one a long ways.
Yeah, he did. And he's listed at 120, and that's even questionable on his weight. But, yeah,
Yes.
he's a little guy, but he hit it a long ways on that one for sure. And the wind is not blowing out. It's, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if he would have had the wind blowing out, that might have gone over the big monster in center.
Yeah, that was a very strongly hit ball, but Cavemen now have a runner on third base with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball high for ball 1. Xavier Alvarado at the plate, the first baseman. Alvarado has a .345 batting average, 2 home runs, and he leads the team with 31 runs, so he's on base quite often.
Yeah, another junior.
So this might be a solid team in next season as well, huh?
For sure.
All right, 1-1 count. Here it comes. Thomas, this one a slider. This one fouled over to left field. Are they going to get to it? They don't. But it looked like Dominguez could have stabbed at it, but it just
Dominguez
seemed a
went
little
a
out of
long ways.
range.
Look how far
he
he
did go a
went.
long ways. What do you think that is?
At least
Put that in football field.
I don't know. If you go 90 feet on the bases, that was probably about 100 feet.
Okay.
That's quite
I'll
a bit.
put it in yards. Okay, 100 feet.
That'd be 33 yards.
All right, so Alvarado still at it. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Here's Thomas. This one off the middle of the back of Alvarado. That one had to hurt. He's acting like it didn't, but he's staring down Thomas, and Thomas is telling him to get over to first base. And that's funny because you don't want to see anything like that put this game in jeopardy. We've seen Thomas get tossed this year once. You'd hate to see it again. That'd be a big blow to this Carlsbad team.
Well, you know that as a pitcher, Thomas didn't try to hit him. He was ahead in the count 1 and 2.
Right,
So-
exactly.
So the
That's not a hit, yeah.
Yeah, so if nothing else, the batter should have been happy that he got first base because he could easily struck out on the next pitch. So, but he's, that's just the arrogance of players. You know what I mean? They want to try to look tough.
Exactly. So Cavemen go ahead and put Brewer on first base on just a intentional walk call. So that's going to put runners on bases loaded, actually. 2 outs. Thomas going to have his work cut out for him on this at-bat as he faces Major Bird. He struck him out twice so far in the game, both swinging. So a 1-0 count, 2 outs. Here it comes. Fastball outside. Good pitch by Thomas to make it a 1-1 count.
I don't know. To me, it seems like bases loaded, 2 outs is a lot tougher than runner at third, 2 outs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because I guess a base hit can score 2 to 3 runs.
All right, this one a good job by Molina to keep that in front. And Molina's done a really good job tonight. We've seen him do a really good job throughout the year, just making sure to protect as much as possible. And he's been a good leader in that aspect. 2-1 count, 2 outs. Here it comes, a fastball inside. They don't call this one a strike. He's called that one off and on throughout the night. And
that looked like a pretty good pitch right there. Not trying to be
we
biased,
notice it. Yeah, I know. We notice it a lot more when it's the no call. I expect it when it is the call. It's 3-1 count. Here's Thomas. Fastball inside. They don't call this one either. So that's going to make it a ball 4, and that's going to move it around there. We got a run down, or a run in for Hobbs. It makes it a 1-1 ball game with runners on first, second, and third. Bases loaded with 2 outs, and Thomas here on the mound to try and get out of this mess.
Brings up the senior catcher, Kenyon Singleton.
All right, so an RBI to Bird with the walk. And there's a good pitch by Thomas. And I was kind of nervous there. I didn't know if Molina had confirmed he had gotten that timeout. That would have been dangerous if he had taken off without
and the runner just
confirming.
took
I
off.
was nervous about that when I saw him throw up the timeout hands about a second later. I was like, okay, good. So an 0-1 count here.
You thought it was another trick play?
Yeah, that would have been a very hard one to complete.
The first baseman comes to cover home.
All right, slider, beautiful pitch there for Thomas, an 0-2 count with 2 outs.
Looked like Singleton wasn't too happy on that call.
No,
he kind of.
I thought that was definitely a strike.
Yeah, it was a good pitch.
Okay, so this one, a big pitch here. Pitchers count, but he's got to be smart on this one. Here it comes, fastball over the plate for strike 3, and that's going to keep the game tied here. And it looks like Hobbs' head coach not too happy about that. I don't know what the complaint would be. That's right over the plate, and it looks like the umpire is going to go and give him some feedback.
Look at this.
I love that. He's telling him, you know what, you've got one more warning. Let's get him thrown out of here if he's going to continue talking. Because we've seen bad calls on both ends. He's acting like this is it.
Send him out.
He's telling him to go into the dugout, and this is the last, probably his last warning. He's giving him a long leash, though.
Yeah.
If he's going to continue chirping back and forth.
Especially for him coming from all the way from behind home plate all the way to his third base box.
Yes.
I thought for sure when he kept chirping
that never
back
happens.
Still, yeah, if he's chirping back and forth still, you'd think, okay, then you're out of here. But no, he gave him a lot on that one.
We had the first base umpire.
Had to come and be the mediator.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's smiling too, like first base umpire's like, I don't know where these umpires are from. I don't know if I've seen them before.
I don't know either.
That's one thing. We used to have Carlsbad umpires, and we haven't had them, I don't know, the last couple of years?
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough. We have to get them from other places. I don't know where, Roswell. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so Thomas able to get out of that situation, but not before giving up a run. So it ties things up 1-1, and the Cavemen really have to battle back here and just kind of show what they're made of. They need a win in this series to secure district, I believe, because if they were to drop, which of course you'd hate to say it, but if they were to drop 3 to Hobbs, then they would tie district in their records, because it would be, and then they would, obviously Hobbs would have the upper hand.
Head to head, yeah.
Exactly. So the Cavemen need at least a win in today's doubleheader. And of course they want to get 2 wins. That'll secure a better ranking in the state for the state tournament.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, it always looks bad when they lose like the first game they lost to a team that's 10 and 14 when they're like what 14 and 4 or 15 and 4 or whatever. What's the
Yeah,
Cavens'
they're
record?
19 and 5.
Yeah. Well, they were 19 and 4. If they wouldn't, if they wouldn't have lost last night, they'd been 20 and 4.
20 and 4, yeah.
So that's a big difference.
Definitely is. All right, Moreno is going to lead things off for the Cavemen. He's been good today. He's gotten on base twice. It's no at bats though. So a hit by pitch and a walk. So a 0-0 day at the plate.
And he's looking pretty good right now with a 2-0 count.
Yes. Moreno's one of those guys that as a pitcher you're just like, okay, I got to be good because if I'm not going to get any swings that are just, you know what I mean, mistakes. I mean, he's very calculated. I really admire that about him. I don't know. I just really like watching batters that are very very disciplined.
Right in the strike zone. Yeah.
Yes, it's so impressive. Of course, we like to see home runs and we like to see the big, exciting stuff. But as a true baseball fan, sometimes you like certain things, and that's one of the things that I really dig. I loved watching Manny Ramirez when he would do stuff like that in the big leagues. So this one right over the plate for strike 2. So Moreno is able to work this to a full count, and he's going to need to do something here. He's choking up on the bat. He's got a 2-strike approach, a good one. Here comes the pitch. This one grounded over to second base. This one bobbled at second base. Moreno's going to get there, and it's going to be a error on second base. E4, the first error of the game, belongs to Hobbs. Hobbs is Gerardo Gonzalez, the leadoff batter for Hobbs.
Well,
putting one on over at first base, and sometimes that's all it takes, but you never know.
Yeah, the ball came up on him a little bit, and then it fell, and I thought he still can pick it up and still throw him out,
right.
But then he still kind of booted it. So
yeah, it was like he was rushing
extra time. Yeah.
So now we've got Fabian Hernandez coming up to the plate. Fabian Hernandez, the 5th hole batter, the DH for the Cavemen, and he is today he's gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to second base, as a matter of fact.
I feel like he doesn't have that many at-bats. So he's
on the year?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This one it hit off of the toe of Hernandez. I can imagine that the Hobbs coaching staff would be upset about that one because it was a hesitant call, but they didn't look to really make an appeal on it. It'd be hard to argue that one, though. It definitely went under his feet, so if it did clip him, it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, this umpire knows what he's doing back there, so he's definitely made the call.
Yeah, he's got to make sure that he's very certain right away, but in that case, it was a little bit delayed. Hernandez kind of said, hey, it hit me. He's like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Very convincing. Good job. So Hernandez gets over to first base on a hit by pitch. That's going to put runners on first and second. This one,
nice
a bunt. And
nice
this one's going to really put it on him. Safe at first base, Zach Galindo. Beautiful play by Galindo, and a nice bouncing bunt. That makes it really hard because you kind of wait for it, and he waited until it got low, and he really had to pick it up.
Well, we complained about it last doubleheader, remember, because they kept bunting it right to the pitcher, so it was easy to get the out. Well, this one took a little bit of a high hop, and the pitcher kind of waited on it, and that gave him a little extra time. So, yeah, now he's in a little bit of a spot.
Uh-oh. We got some more back and forth here. What do we got?
Now
let's see if we can get the right arm in action for the umpire. He's going,
hey, this is your last warning.
He's saying, yep.
I'm reading his lips.
Okay, go for it. What do you got?
Okay, now if you say another word, you're out of here. I'm not kidding. You're going to be sitting on the bus the rest of the game.
And I feel like that exact reading that you just gave us had to have been what he said a little bit earlier. I mean, what else?
Yeah.
This is warning number 2.
Yeah, I'm going to keep warning you because it looks good. But
if you do this again, I'm going to warn you.
You do it five more times, and you're out of here.
Do it 5 more times, and I'm going to keep
Molina's
coming
in a big spot
back.
right here with bases loaded.
No outs. Here comes Brewer with a slider in the dirt, and Molina bites at right away. So an aggressive AB from Molina. We expect that. I mean, he's typically swinging type of batter, very aggressive, but definitely can come through. We saw him come with a single in the when was it? In the second inning.
Yeah.
So he's 1 for 2 on the day, but now in an 0-2 situation, no outs, and Brewer Out of the windup, here he comes. Looks like a slider over the plate for a foul ball, and Molina able to stay alive, an 0-2 count.
Well, that's what I'd like to see Molina do, either get something through the infield or something in the air in the outfield
Yes.
to get a run in at least.
Anything to the outfield will do.
Yeah.
Here comes the pitch. This one over the plate, hit hard, and once again, that one really close to the line, kind of hugged it.
And really
but
close to Moreno.
Yeah, it really was. So, and that's why you have to be in foul territory
Yeah.
100%, because if that hits you in fair territory, you're out.
And it's a dead ball.
And of course, that's common knowledge, I guess, at the high school level. A good job by Molina to kind of turn in a little bit. I feel like if he stands in the box, doesn't turn on that one, you have a chance of that umpire calling a strike. He's been kind of sporadic
Yeah.
in that exact area. That's been his weakness on tonight's.
Yeah, he better not leave it up to
strike
the
zone.
umpire
No.
on this at bat for sure.
No, you almost have to throw in some theatrics a bit. Here comes the pitch. 1-2.
Oh, nice.
Solid line drive by Ty Molina. This is going to bring in Moreno. It's going to bring in Hernandez as well. Hernandez has some good speed,
he
huh?
does.
So we got lots of wheels on this team. 2-run score for the Cavemen, and Ty Molina, the senior catcher, comes through,
Yeah,
and we
came
were
through big right there.
hoping he would do something like that. He did. We were calling for something in the outfield. Molina answered that call ×2. He got 2 runs across and no outs. He's going to get that base hit. Beautiful hit by
Looks like
Molina.
they're going to bring in I bet you they bring in the relief pitcher now, because with nobody out and 2 runs just came in.
This is a tough spot to come in out of the bullpen, I'll
For
say
sure.
that. So, yeah.
You knew
Yep,
who used to
they're
do
getting
it?
the ball from him.
You know who used to do it better than anybody was Corey Weldon. Do you remember Corey Weldon?
I
He
do.
would come in situations like this, and he would shut it down, and it was fun to watch.
He was one of those dudes, too.
That didn't care.
Yeah, he didn't care. I don't know if he really got fired up. I don't know if he really took the situations in pressure. It just felt like he didn't.
He just laughed about it.
It's funny because sometimes it almost feels like some guys don't really know the magnitude of the situation, and it's better that
Yeah,
way.
for sure.
I love Grant Harville to death. Last year, I felt like part of that was just like, what? This is just what I do. You know what I mean? It didn't even the way he handled himself last year at the state tournament. It almost felt like he was just
Like
like,
he
oh,
knew
it's
it
just
was
a
gonna-
scrimmage.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it never felt.
Like
which
the
was
moment
crazy.
never got too big.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you're just playing state championship baseball against Sandia. You know,
Yeah.
and it's not that
Biggest
big a deal.
game of your life, but we're good.
So this is Nicholas Gonzalez, the 5'8", number 4 not the number 4 batter.
Okay.
But he's not. He looks kind of like the left fielder.
Okay. Pretty small dude, might be a finesse pitcher. And we'll see kind of in his warm-ups what we got working.
Another
Yeah.
junior.
He might be a kind of an off-speed, maybe a finesse kind of guy.
Well,
But
who's coming up now?
now for the Cavemen is going to be Garrett Fuentes,
Okay.
then followed by Jeremiah Dominguez.
Okay.
But I will say, Ruben, I hadn't seen Hernandez really turn on the
jets.
burners. Yeah, exactly. Until then, and it's just you just throw another guy in the lineup that's got wheels. It's kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
So another threat on the base paths, but Fuentes. And you never know, though. I mean, some guys are quick. Some guys are, like, fast after they get going. It looked like he's got good speed. I like it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can never claim under my belt is any type of speed. So sometimes,
So you were a 4-tool athlete?
yeah, we'll go with that. If
Yeah,
if I can even claim that, that'd be nice, huh? But all right, so we saw a guy from New Mexico State get the call up to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Ortiz gonna make his major league debut possibly in this upcoming or in this weekend or maybe in this week. That's the thing that's funny is guys can get called up to the big leagues and not actually play. They can get
Yeah.
called up and then just
Yeah.
stay on the bench, which I think if you get called up, you still get league minimum. So it's like this huge bonus.
Oh, yeah,
I'd be happy with that, but you always want to see that debut.
for sure.
All right, so Garrett Fuentes, the ERA leader on the squad, trying to do something to the other team's ERA if he can. Runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch. This one a bunt attempt, and he kind of tips it, I believe, and it's caught by Singleton and an 0-1 count here with no outs. Runners on first and second.
I feel like he's not real confident about it. He was running out of the box instead of just standing there and sacrificing it.
Sure. Here it comes. This one looked a little bit better, but this one fouled off in a dangerous position, and it looks like he might have stepped wrong or something. He kind of lifted up his left foot a little bit, kind of gingerly.
See, I feel like that's the MO of our batters. They foul it off.
Yeah.
They don't swing at it.
Now he's going to come up big with
a count, and they get a base hit. Yeah.
He's going to go with an opposite field single here between the first baseman and the second baseman. Watch. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. 0-2 count here, nobody out. Here it comes. This one off the plate and low. And I think Hobbs is really just trying to bank on just getting strikes thrown here, because it's not going to be an overpowering situation.
No, he's probably, what, in his low 70s?
I would say
74, 73.
Which sometimes can be hard. It could pose a challenge for the Cavemen. This one hit hard over to second base. It's going to be an error again, his second error of the game, second error of the inning. And this one's going to be safe at home plate for Zach Galindo. That one looked like it could have been dangerous for Galindo's hand. Did you see the way he slid into his foot? That's scary, but he gets in. He looks just fine, and the Cavemen able to get another one across off of an error, but a hard hit ball by Fuentes, and you got to like to see that as well. Kind of a confidence boost here for the sophomore that's known for pitching this year, comes through at the plate as well.
And that's one thing that Hobbs has always been known for, is solid defense, and that's 2 errors in the same inning for the second baseman, and you don't see that too often. So that's going to bring
outs.
Out Dominguez.
So Jeremiah Dominguez today has gone 0 for 1 with a ground out to third base and a walk. But here it comes. Here comes the first pitch, a fastball off the turf for ball 1, 1-0 count.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to say Dominguez gets a hit here and scores both runs.
Love it. Hey, how close was I, though? Right? He hit it at second baseman. If he would have hit it 10 feet over to the right, I might have been dead on.
Or 30 feet.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so that one looked like, it even looked like another off speed, like a changeup on that one. We've seen the fastball, obviously not a ton of velo here, but the changeup kind of floating in there, and it's a 2-0 count. Here comes the next pitch. This one on the outer half for strike 1, so 2-1 count to Jeremiah Dominguez. And runners on second and third, the Cavemen really posing their biggest threat of the game here to really bust this thing wide open. And the Cavemen would love nothing more than to finish a game on the 5th inning. Here's a hard hit ball into left center field.
I called it.
Can it go? Yes, it does. It's going to be a double at least for Dominguez. It's going to be a triple, 2-run score. We get Colton Walker across. Garrett Fuentes comes through, and Jeremiah Dominguez with a triple. And that's going to make it his first hit of the game in a big situation to open things up even more for the Cavemen. 2 RBIs for Jeremiah Dominguez.
It feels good to call that one.
Yes,
sure.
It does. God, get those lungs working for me a little bit. Jeez, it's been kind of hard to get excited about too many things. But today, the 5th inning really busted things open for the Cavemen. And sometimes you see how that pitch count can really work back in your favor if you're just taking deep counts. The Cavemen this year and last year very notably good with two strikes. They got a good 2-strike approach. So, okay, brand new count, brand new batter. Aiden Quintela, the leadoff batter, with a runner in scoring position over at third base with no outs.
And I'm also kind of impressed with the hitters, because when somebody comes in with a lot less velo, I feel like we don't usually do as well.
Pop fly and foul territory. This one's coming back, and they're going to take home plate. Can they get there? Yes. They do. Good job by Dominguez. Aggressive base running right behind third base. He just went ahead and said, okay, cool, he's on the ground, I'm going to take it. And great piece of running by Jeremiah Dominguez. That's going to be an RBI for Quintela. Is that going to be a sac fly?
Yeah. It counts as no at bat. What's crazy about that one is he was right there. They're going to appeal it, but I know he's
There's
safe
no way he waited.
Yeah,
he waited long enough, but good job by.
That was a good call.
Good job by the Cavemen there. 6-1. The Cavemen lead with 7-1. The Cavemen lead with 6 runs in the 5th inning alone. So what a time. Ruben, the first 6 batters of this inning all scored. And so 1 out, Thomas up to bat. He hits one high into left center field, more left field, I guess. It's going to be some trouble for the shortstop, but they catch it. So F6, and it's going to be 3 outs.
The shortstop was running in like it was 3 outs.
right, so it's been a long inning. I can understand
Well,
that.
you
so.
see a lot of pop-ups on these top of the order batters. It's because they're expecting a lot more velo, you know what I mean, and they're not hitting the ball solid. They're kind of getting anxious.
And that's kind of the approach that you kind of want to see your on deck batters taking is, can I get the timing down? I'm going to time this down with my batter, not just swings, but can I time the pitcher with the 2 or 3 strikes or 2 or 3 pitches I see in the guy in front of me? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what the on deck circle is really truly about. Yes, you're going to get loose. Yes, you're going to get focused, but you really want to get timing down, and that's why the leadoff position's so difficult sometimes. But 1-1 count here to Mabry. This one, a curveball, loopy as can be, and a 2-1 count now.
I can't ever remember Hobbs having anybody with slow velo. Mostly everybody's, you know what I mean, pretty solid,
Okay,
and they
interesting.
just bring it. So you're kind of expecting that 80-plus mile-an-hour fastball.
And Mabry hits this
same
one
thing.
super high.
That's 3
This is
in a
going to
row.
be popped up to the pitcher, and it's dropped. And Mabry's going to get on base with an E1. Kind of a rare entry into the scorebook, huh?
Well, I kind of feel like that's a third baseman's
It
ball.
definitely
You know what
is.
I mean?
That was a bad
He's
job
been
by
playing
him.
there the whole season. This guy comes in to pitch once in a while, and he's over there trying to make a play, and it was close
Yeah.
enough for him to get to it. It
No,
wasn't
absolutely. I mean, he's in the air for 10
15
minutes.
Yeah.
And went down and got popcorn in between
Yeah.
the time it went up there. So.
Thank you, Grace, for the popcorn.
Exactly.
Sponsor.
2 outs here with a runner on first base. Mabry is that runner. Here's Moreno. First pitch is high. So a 1-0 count, 2 outs. Cavemen lead 7-1, folks. 7-1 lead. Cavemen. They're making the kind of the revenge tour on the double header today. They lost last night to the Eagles 4-3 in a nail biter. But today, trying to get away with finishing the game early if they can. Here comes Moreno with a 1-1 count, 2 outs. This one, a fastball floating over into the outside corner of the plate. And those are the way that he's throwing, and some of these strikes are really those lick your lips type of strikes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just want to crush it. And this one, a curveball off the plate, and Mabry's going to get a stolen base added to his stat line today as well. So Moreno now with a 2-2 count.
And an opportunity with a runner in scoring position.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and call it here, too. He's going to get a hit and score Mac.
All right, let's see what happens, Ruben. I like your predictions when they come true. Here it comes. This one, a fastball off the turf, making it a full count. And, I mean, any situation, you're going to expect Moreno to work a count pretty deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to watch. All right, so Mabry over at second base. A base hit scores him. It's not even a question. Here it comes. This one off the turf, and this is going to get Moreno over to first base on a walk. Good job by him, and that's going to be, this is the second time around the lineup. That was his second at-bat of the inning. Fabian Hernandez now in his second at-bat as well. So now with Mabry over at third base, in just what, like a matter of 3 pitches?
Yeah.
He gets over to first and moves over again. Here comes the first pitch to Hernandez, and this one off the plate and off speed, or a breaking pitch.
It's funny you say moves over like if he didn't steal second base. Oh, he moves
It
over
just
to
kind of
second.
just kind of glided over there. 1-0 count with 2 outs. This one fouled high over into foul
that's playable.
territory. And Hobbs having a hard time on the infield for pop flies and ground balls. This inning has been a complete breakdown.
It's been tough. Yeah, for them to tie the game at 1 apiece and maybe think, hey, we've got a good chance. I feel like Mackay came in and just didn't do his thing in the top of that half of that inning, and now Gonzalez is struggling with defensive errors.
Yeah, I mean, he came into a tough situation for sure. 1-1 count here with 2 outs now. Runners at first and third. And here comes the first pitch. This one inside and a fastball. That's going to be called for a strike. So an 0-1 count here to Fabian Hernandez.
No,
I'm sorry.
He's hit a foul ball.
Oh, that's right. What am I saying that?
It's
1-2
1-2
count.
Maybe they should do the run where he
Zoned
runs
out.
halfway again.
And there's a curveball that's going to get him swinging, and that's going to do it for the inning, Ruben. The Cavemen finish out that inning with a solid performance. 6 runs in for the Cavemen. They had an opportunity to make it 7 there with a runner at third base on that last one. But Ruben, what a big inning for the Cavemen. What went from a kind of like one of those heartbeat, what do you call it? Kind of like those.
A nail biters.
Yeah.
To make us rest a little bit
Our heart
easier.
rate was rising, and then the 5th inning came around, and the Cavemen handled business. So 7-1, folks. 7-1, the Cavemen lead after a 6-run 5th inning. And they record, let's see, what do I have? I got 1, 2, 3 hits in that inning. But Hobbs definitely doing the Cavemen a little bit of favors. Error at second base, a hit by pitch, an error at second base, a kind of a slower fielding over at behind third base that got
that got a run in.
That got a run in with aggressive base running by Dominguez, and then another error from the pitcher.
Yeah.
So
and then an error by the first baseman, even though it's in foul territory, so it doesn't
That's
get
true,
recorded
yeah.
as an error.
So he lucks out in his
yeah,
stat line, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't record as one, but yeah, they could have definitely scored another run with that after that one.
All right, so now up to bat for Hobbs is number 8, Hector Armendariz, the center fielder. He's got 1 hit on the night so far, single and a strikeout. Here comes the pitch from Thomas, who's had some time to really rest, which is a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. I think I lean a little bit more towards the negative effects on this just because there's so much wait time.
Yeah, they were in the dugout a long time.
Yeah. If it's after the first inning, a little bit different. It's after his 5th inning of work. I feel like you kind of have to consider putting in somebody else to come in after that long of a wait. But a single up the middle by Armendariz starts the inning off for the Eagles.
Yeah, and you can't rule Hobbs out. They can string together a few hits and never know. They'll get back in it. So we got to get us an out or a double play ball or something right here with Kenyon Johnson.
So my question is, was Hobbs' head coach thrown out, or just did he bench himself in the dugout so he didn't get thrown out
or
for
maybe
game 2?
Or maybe he told him, you know what, you're what is it called when you're something to the dugout? You know what I mean? It's kind of like in basketball where you say you're stuck to the bench, you can't get up. Maybe that's what he told him. You know what?
Restricted to the dugout?
Yeah, you're restricted to the dugout. I'm not going to kick you out of the game so he can coach the third. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Then the warning wasn't as much of a warning. It was like a requirement, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so a good pitch there by Thomas. His fastball has been good today. After sitting for a while, it still looks live. Here comes another good pitch by Thomas, and this one a slider, but sometimes his slider looks like a cutter because he's thrown it hard. It's got good bite to it at the end. It's not a ton of bite to where you're like, wow, that was loopy, like a Kershaw type of curveball type of thing. It's more of a subtle fool, you know what I mean?
Nice.
There's a fastball with good tail for strike 3 looking.
Looked like Johnson wasn't too happy about that one, but it was right in the zone. So
yeah, it was a good pitch by Thomas for out number 1. It's going to bring up the 9th batter of the lineup, Saul Armendariz. So runner at first base with 1 out after a strikeout by Thomas. So here comes a fastball outside. Pretty good pitch, but yeah, definitely off the plate. So
yeah,
but I like the location.
Okay.
You don't like that location?
No, the location was fine, but you made it sound like you were trying to ask for a strike.
That was a strike. Just kidding.
That was a strike.
All right, so 1-1 count there with 1 out. Runner at first base, and the Cavemen lead 7-1 if you're just joining us. We appreciate you guys for checking in and checking it out. Thomas checks over at first base. Here's a nice slider. Could have been a curveball or a slider.
Could have been
a strike,
but
that should have been a strike.
Could have been a strike,
I can't say it, though, because I messed up on one of them, so I'll let you make that judgment call.
That bit right into the zone, but
for sure. Nice pitch. Definitely fooling. Got him guessing there. Number 13, Saul Armendariz. It's like he was waiting on something else and then realized, oh, wait, I want to swing at this. A little bit late. 2-2 count with 1 out. Here it comes. Fastball off the zone, or out of the zone, off the plate. So it's going to make it a full count for Thomas. And if I'm coach, I mean, of course I want him to work into situations where he's going deep. Here's a good ground ball opportunity for Quintela, and a good
bunt.
play by, I mean, just once again, no rush there.
Uh-uh.
He obviously, he made time, he knew what he was doing, but he never looked like he was frantic. He's just smooth.
Yeah, he was playing him more up the middle for the ball getting thrown to second and that kind of stuff. But yeah, he went after it like, you know what, I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was still it was a close play.
Yeah, it
you know,
was.
any other, if it's me, if it's probably 75% of guys, you're probably grabbing it and chucking it because you're like, crap, I got to hurry up. And sometimes that, you know, can bite you. But Quintela just definitely, he knows his timing. He's very good with it.
he probably knows the speed of the runner, so it's like, okay,
Yes,
I've got time.
he studies that hard.
Well, it's
Okay.
kind of like Rodman. Did you see that thing? I sent you
Yes,
about Rodman?
how cool is that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Study the spin of the ball and know where to go for rebounds.
All right,
there's
this
a
one
base
hit hard over to left
Right
field,
at him.
right to Fuentes, and he makes a
basket
scary catch
Was
there.
that a
Yeah,
basket catch?
I think his stomach might have came into play on that one, but a good job by
was nice.
Fuentes because that's definitely in the range of the sunlight,
for sure.
straight directly at him. So you don't blame him for doing anything he can. But I admire when players can do stuff like that, and because we see it so much now, it's too cool to not use two hands. It's too cool to catch it away from your body,
Oh,
camp
yeah.
out, take your time. In that case, he's like, I'm gonna make this catch no matter what it's gonna look like, and he got the job done. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So good job there by Fuentes, and the Cavemen are going to try and come in the bottom of the 6th inning to try and finish things out. If they can get across 4 runs, that will do it. But of course, the Cavemen just going to try and take this one at bat at a time, starting with Zach Galindo, who hit the first base hit of the inning in the 5th to really get things going for the Cavemen and start things out. I believe he made the bases loaded on the bunt. Remember the high bouncing bunt
yeah.
that loaded the bases. It was
that
a
he beat
very
out,
good play. Yeah. Caveman just trying to move runners over on a sac bunt, and he made more of it than he expected. So Galindo up to bat, the right fielder for the Cavemen, and I feel like I can think a little bit more and can feel a little bit better, and it's not as loud behind me. So, jeez.
Just for a few seconds.
Yeah, just for a few seconds, and then we get more yelling. All right, so Galindo up to bat with a fresh inning, and he's had a good day so far. He's 1 for 2 with a walk in the 2nd inning, so he's reached base twice. We expect that from Galindo. Here comes the first pitch to him, and a fastball off the plate. 1-0. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by the Carlsbad Cavemen Booster Club. Here comes the next pitch. This one down off the turf. 2-0 count.
Hey, let me ask you a question. When
Yeah.
did that start becoming a thing where
What's
the
that?
catchers put their leg out? I feel like that's
Great
just been
question.
the last few years, like almost like they're resting their leg, or I don't know, something. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
You see it a lot.
I don't like it because it limits your mobility. The only thing that when they're doing it, there's nobody on, I get it. Like, I understand that it's, what's convenient. I'm not going to let a ball past you. I think what it does, for the most part, from an advantage standpoint, is you're getting really low, so you're kind of catching the ball on the uprise, so it kind of becomes more of an illusion for the umpire. You're going to steal more strikes that way, and that's really the goal of the catcher in that. I just personally, especially when there's a guy on base, I feel like it's kind of a lazy move. But when there's nobody on, do whatever you can, steal a strike here and there. I mean, a pitcher's best friend is a catcher that can do stuff like that and receive
pitches.
well.
Yeah.
So I think it really just comes down to how you receive it and try and steal strikes. But, we'll see if that comes into play with a guy on first base. It doesn't seem like it will. Yeah. So they definitely change things up. So a catcher that we, of course, were able to cover a little bit, and we liked watching, liked to follow in college. Ashton Whitaker has had a heck of a season in his season over in Tennessee, playing for Maryville College at the next level. He's had a good year. I don't know the number, but I feel like he's thrown out like 20 guys this year.
Gosh, that's awesome.
Every series I hear he throws out 2 or 3 more guys, and it's exciting to hear those stats rack up. But yeah, he's a heck of a player, and you love to see a guy working hard. The catcher's job is tough.
Oh, yeah.
2-1 count here for Molina. All right, so once again, 2-1 count, nobody on. Galindo over at first base. All right, so here it comes. This one, a ball off the turf, and 3-1 count. So 3-1 count once again. Here it comes. The fastball off the plate. Fastball that
Looks like
never made it.
Looks like the coach might be going for another pitcher. He might have seen enough.
Yeah, if you're able to get really kind of tear into the other team's bullpen, even if you see a guy twice, you know, in this game and you see him next game, that wears on him definitely, and especially in this game where the Cavemen are trying to run away with it, hopefully in the 6th inning. As a Hobbs coach, you almost want to leave him in there as long as you can, because you want him to soak up an inning or two.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do when you're going deep, is get the experience to these guys. Maybe they're leaving them in there. They're just talking to them, saying, "Hey, throw strikes, let your defense help you out." Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
see
Hobbs,
how that goes.
From the record, it looks like they be in a tough spot to try and make it into the postseason.
They may be like a 15
below,
or 16,
yeah,
for sure, which is unusual for them.
All right, so Fuentes going to try and put the bunt down, and they're going to pull this one back. It looks like they caught Galindo off the plate, and they're going to throw him out over at third base as they kind of caught him off the bag.
I think what happened was Galindo thought the bunt was going to go down, and he kind of got off too far.
Yeah, well, a good heads-up play by Singleton for out number 1 on the Cavemen. So here comes Fuentes, a 1-0 count. This one fouled off over to the temporary locker room. The Cavemen in a temporary locker room this year, Ruben, and it's because the field house is being worked on. It'll
like
be
a
under
mile
construction until 2042, I believe, is the estimated timetable. All right, here it comes. This one, a change up over, I guess, low against Fuentes. Once again, Ruben, that's one thing. It's like a gray area.
Yeah.
We just watch the umpire in that spot because we never know. 2-1 count here with 1 out, and it looks like we're going to have a steal attempt, and that's Colton Walker getting over to first base for second base for Ty Molina, end to run for Ty Molina. So a good job by Molina, and I didn't write it down. Molina had a walk, is that correct?
Yes, on 4 pitches.
So good hard hit ball over to second base, and this one is fielded.
He swallowed that one up.
Yes, he did. Definitely focus a little extra on that one for out number 2. So that's going to be Jeremiah Dominguez now up to bat. Dominguez, if you remember, Ruben, cleaned off the bases with a triple. So he's 1 for 2 on the night, a triple and a walk. And if he's able to get a single,
not too bad for the prom queen.
No,
king.
Whoa! I was like, whoa.
Sorry.
But here we go. Pop fly into left field.
Oh, he
dropped by the shortstop, and man, Hobbs keeping the nightmare alive.
Wow.
So an error by the shortstop is going to put a guy on second base. Good hustle play by Dominguez to get over to second base. Of course, that's not what he wanted, but he's able to get an RBI on it.
Well, as long as he gets the run in, he did his job. But yeah, it's always tough to get on an error, but it's better than the alternative being out.
Yeah, especially when it's floating over the plate like that. You're just like, man, it's tough to get a pop fly. But I think that's the strategy behind putting him in is I'm going to get pop flies, I'm going to get ground balls, and we're just going to work this as a team. And a lot of times that can work. You pitch to contact. But he has had a few walks in his appearance, so that, of course, fuels some of the things that happen badly.
Well, you got to think about it. He came into a bad situation,
and
then he got several pop-ups, and we just didn't make all the plays on the pop-ups, so that hurt us too. So, yeah, they could have easily gotten out of it. It could be 3-1 right now, or 2-1. Well, maybe not.
Well, before he came in, it would have been still like 5-1.
Well, no, remember he came in with bases loaded. Or did they already score?
I think it was 2.
Yeah, it might have
2-1 or 3-1 at that point. All right, so Aiden Quintela now 2-1 count. Here it comes. Hopped high over into center field, kind of leaking towards right field. Right fielder can't handle it. This one hits the turf, and it's going to be another run scored for the Cavemen. So, wow. Hobbs really hoping to reset coming into the next game, because that is a tough look for all. Like, you were seeing a lot of struggles in the infield, maybe not so much in the outfield, and then that happened. So
I feel like the center fielder was calling him off, but then he saw that he had it, so he let him get it, and he didn't get it. So, yeah.
8-1 the Cavemen lead, folks. 9-1. I was thinking, wait, we scored 2 this inning. Okay, so 9-1. Runner at second base, Tristan Thomas up to bat. Thomas has had a single. He's gone 1 for 3 so far. Here comes the pitch. This one hit over to first base. This is going to be a race to first base, but he's able to get that one unassisted, and that's going to be out number 3, but not before the Cavemen able to plate 2 more runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, so they're going to need 3 outs to finish off this game and a break between the games.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a little break. Both teams are going to need a little break.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool out there, but I think when you're running around playing, you don't really feel it as much as if you're in the dugout just kind of chilling or in the press box chilling.
Yeah. Fabian Hernandez gets up to the mound. Today he's had some struggles from the plate. He's going to try and close this thing out in 3 batters if he can. 0 for 3 at the plate with a hit by pitch, so he was able to reach base and score in the big inning for the Cavemen. He was a contributing factor to that inning by getting on base and, of course, scoring. So we're going to see what happens here. Hernandez is a good pitching option for the Cavemen. The Cavemen deep in that aspect. As I look through this lineup, we see Quintela is a possible candidate for pitching. Thomas, Mabry, Hernandez, Fuentes, Dominguez. You know, in this lineup, that's what you can go with on the mound. And then, of course, we do have Wright that's in the dugout as well.
That'll probably be starting game 3?
Yes,
I think.
I believe so, yes. So we'll likely see Hazen Wright come out on the mound starting for the Cavemen in game 2 of today, game 3 of the series. For those of you at home, 9-1 the Cavemen lead, 9-1 after a big 5th inning and a 2-run 6th inning.
So this guy got a triple last time, right? Isn't this him? Gonzalez?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Gerardo?
So here comes a ground ball over to second base. This one's fielded and thrown to first for out number 1. That comes from Jeremiah Dominguez as they brought in Hernandez to pitch. They brought in Lenny Marquez to third base, and Dominguez moved over to second base.
Yes, and Mac Mabry went to left field, and Tristan Thomas went to center field.
Okay. So that's where the shift really came in.
Yeah, so Fuentes came out of the game.
Gotcha.
So it took the DH out of the equation.
So this one, a flip over into right field for a single. So kind of just a top spin little blooper into right field for a single. So that one is kind of one of those things you can't do anything about, unfortunately, for the Cavemen. But for Hobbs, they're trying to get something going, at least to get some confidence sparked for game 3. That's probably your best case scenario at this point. Well, that's not the best case scenario, but it is
scoring
the most likely.
Yeah, scoring 9 runs this inning would be the best thing, but yeah. Oh, dang, he hit that one a mile.
All right, so he watched that one. Brewer kind of pimped a foul ball there, is what they would say, I guess. 0-1 count, 1 out, runner at first base. Brewer was the starting pitcher of this game. Here's a nice slider there by Hernandez. It had a late bite, and it really dove down at his feet. He was able to force him to foul this one off over on the pull side. But what a pitch by Hernandez. That shows me a lot of promise with his breaking pitch. That's a really good-looking pitch. All right, so Hernandez, 0-2 count here. Runner at first base, 1 out. Cavemen lead 9-1. You guys are at home watching. We appreciate you guys. Good fastball outside. Can you see that arm side run too? He's got it just like Thomas. And if I remember right, Ruben, we talked about how cool it was for Hernandez. He adjusts his arm angle to give the hitters different looks. So he'll go.
Well, there's two Hernandezes, aren't there? Or is this the one that pitches? They don't both pitch?
I believe there are 3 Hernandezes on the team. This is the one that we've only seen pitch.
Oh,
but
okay. I thought there was a second one that pitched.
He'll go over the top. He'll go 3/4, low 3/4, and even sidearm at times, which is cool. A 1-2 count. Here it comes. Nice slider there for Hernandez. A 1-2 count. So Brewer's going to want to try and punish this ball as much as possible. Obviously, in the final inning of the game, he's just going to try and do something with it, of course. But some big hacks with 2 strikes.
Yeah, for sure.
So Hernandez checks over to first base, comes set. Here comes a sidearm pitch. It's a good-looking one at that, and this one fouled back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny, though. Like we said a while ago, Molina got that ball off the bat and gave it to the umpire. The umpire didn't have any more balls, so he was going to tell him to throw it out there, but they threw him some more.
Maybe the right pocket is the dispose of, and the left pocket isn't.
No, it's like a ball wash for golf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It recycles the ball, gets it ready to go back into action.
It's got a brush in there and everything.
Yeah.
1-2 count. Here comes an over-the-top
that's
pitch by Hernandez. This one hit hard over to right field. It looks like Galindo really crow-hopped to get that one in, but they just went base to base on that one. So Alvarado's at second base, and Brewer got himself a single. Good at-bat by Brewer. So Hernandez is going to face against Major Bird, one of the more interesting names of the year, I think. I don't think we've heard a whole lot of guys named Major.
No,
have you?
Not too many, no.
All right, so fresh count here for Hernandez. He comes set, checks second base. Here it comes. Fastball over the top for strike 1. That one looked like it could have been ball 1.
Yeah, it must have clipped barely, but it was definitely outside pitch.
So 1 out, runners on first and second. Hernandez comes set, checks second again. The leg kick, the pitch. This one a nice slider. This is a weak ground ball over to second base, and Dominguez.
Hey, that was a nice play by Dominguez because he smothered it into his body to keep the ball from trying to tail away from him.
Absolutely. That one was a tricky one because as much as it just looked like a routine ground ball, it probably had tons of spin on it coming off of the right-handed bat.
Yeah, you could see the way it hit off the end of the bat. It was just moving funny.
It was probably burning some of the turf with how much it was a tight circle in there. So, all right, so 2 outs here in the in the top of the 7th inning. Hernandez back in the windup with runners at second and third. Here it comes. Fastball popped up, and Hernandez is going to call everybody off for out number 3 and just proceed to the dugout. They're going to go. That's going to be it for game 1. The Cavemen win 9-1. The Cavemen win, and
nice ball game. And
yes, beautiful. So good job by Tristan Thomas. I'd say Tristan Thomas, a strong candidate for player of the game on that one. He had a single, and of course he had 6 innings of 1-run ball game, which was really good. Let's see, who else can we consider for player of the game? We do see Molina went 2 for 3 on the game with a walk. He'd be another candidate for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Tristan Thomas because it was a pitcher's duel at first. He continued and he persevered and got the win. So Cavemen even up the series at 1-1, and we're going to see what happens. We'll be back here shortly.